Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
I think I may have finally crossed over.
To what?
Old. I now want one of these. I saw it on television. I must have one.
You struggle. You strain. You're so far away. Just bending over to put on your socks is brutally painful every day.
Right?
Well, not anymore. Introducing Sock Slider, the pain-free, no-bend-over way to comfortably put on your socks every day.
Okay, Ron, you look like a fat kid looking at an apple pie right now.
That is the dumbest ass thing I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
Place your sock on the cradle, lower the cradle to the floor, and slide your foot in. It's that easy.
Yes.
Sock Slider puts the socks on for you. So bending over is something you never have to do. The secret is the unique
Oh, by the way, you'll still have to bend over.
Oh, yeah.
Every April 15th.
cradle design that expands the sock opening and places it in the perfect position. So all you have to do is slide your foot in.
Look at
Then
that,
when you
how
want
easy
to take it
that
off,
is.
the sock slider makes that easy too.
I've had everything on me wore out.
That's what she
Rebuilt
said.
back, shoulder,
Everything on me
knee,
wore out.
That's what she said.
and the sock slider made things easy.
Joint pain, arthritis, backaches, bad knees, and surgeries limit your range of motion. But with Sock Slider, there's no twisting, turning, or yearning to reach your feet.
How many times a day have I yearned to reach my feet? I yearn to reach my feet.
Look, if I get to a point where I can't reach my feet, just put me out of my misery. It's not a matter of reaching
I
my
have
feet.
a gun.
It's a matter of putting on my freaking socks.
Yeah.
One simple step and your socks are on. One quick movement and your socks are off.
I've suffered from chronic back pain for good portions of my life, and if I had had something like this, I could have been a little bit more
I
independent.
think the
and
Oh,
over-dramatization
no.
of
This
the
is...
not
this
putting on
is-
my socks thing.
Oh, no, this is...
done things for myself.
Dress socks, casual, athletic, medical, or compression.
Wait, it works with every kind of sock? Every kind? How does it do that? Science,
Your
bitches.
favorite socks can be put on without frustration. Sock Slider is great for moms-to-be. Plus, it can be taken apart for convenient travel and storage. And here's something you need to know. The Sock Slider can also help put on your shoes, and you're good to go.
Whoa!
This thing has various uses, doesn't it?
If it makes biscuits, women are no longer necessary. And sandwich making, if it can make a decent sandwich, and it doesn't talk back, a sock slider. Come on, you know you want one.
As seen on TV.
You know you want one. Doesn't that look nice? Doesn't that look nice? I mean, if there's no bending, you'd never have to go.
Brad, I went into a mall in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there's a store in there called As Seen on TV.
Oh, I
Oh,
could
holy
get
hell.
lost. I could get lost in there. I seriously could get lost in there. The things that they put. By the way, did you know that is a trademark brand? To earn the As Seen on TV seal of approval, you have to go through an approval process. That's big money right there. As Seen on TV.
Wow.
By the way, the argument's over. It is settled. Science is done. 99.9999% chance that humans are causing global warming. This and other science-based facts from climate change on Earth Day. Yeah, it's done.
Wow, 99.9999.
That's really close to 100%. That's
Pretty close.
That's 0.0001% away from 100%. Humans are causing global warming. This is according to a February study. That means we have reached the gold standard for certainty, a statistical measure typically used in particle physics.
So are you saying that 0.0001% is every other damn thing in the world?
They're deniers. Yeah, I mean, that's everything. The mechanism is well understood and has been for decades now. Humans burn fossil fuels such as oil, coal, and gas, which release carbon dioxide, methane, other gases into the atmosphere and oceans. CO2 is the greenhouse gas that's most responsible for warming. The past 5 years have been the 5 warmest since record keeping began in the late 1800s. So we have, I mean, think about it. We have the hottest 5 years on record in the past, 140, let's give them the benefit of the 150 years. We have the 5 hottest years on record in the past 150 years out of 6 million or so. I mean, that's 150 out of 6 million that's a lot, isn't it? I mean, I'm no math major, but that's a lot. That's a lot. And the Earth has experienced 42 straight years. Why do they have to be straight years? Seriously, people, have we not evolved since that? 42 straight years since 1977 with an above average global temperature. This according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I mean, we're doomed.
Doomed.
We are doomed. We are absolutely doomed. Carbon dioxide is up 46%. Consequence of higher temperatures, melting of the polar ice caps, sea levels are going to rise, and of course they have the picture of everything's pretty much on fire. It's killing Americans.
Looks like the day after tomorrow,
doesn't it?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After the nuclear explosion.
You know what I want to know?
What?
What's in that storage container? There's a storage container over there. I mean, what's in there? Obviously, it's part of a golf cart. So, this is, we're killing Americans. We're costing billions of dollars. New York City has Arkansas weather, and we're doomed. Unless, of course, you look at another study which says that the Earth's climate was actually, sea levels were 60 feet higher. Antarctica had trees the last time CO2 levels were this high, which was approximately 1.2 million years ago. So we had this,
and the world's still here. You mean?
Obviously they got rid of their SUVs 1.2 million years ago, and
their buildings with glass and steel.
Yes, the current CO2 levels were last seen on Earth 3 million years ago. This, according to an article on Think Progress. So it really depends on where you want to look. I mean, and isn't that the key to life? Knowing where to find the right answers. Knowing where to find the sock slider?
I'm just going to knock on your door.
I'm telling you.
Brad.
They have.
You're a genius.
They have, they being scientists, of course, they have an in-depth analysis of plant fossils and sediment levels. They reveal that CO2 levels were last seen, this height, were last seen in the late Pliocene epoch. Oh, those are good times. I don't know if you remember the Pliocene epoch, but man, it was like free love back then.
That's right.
Free love.
The only toy we had back in those days was dirt.
Yeah, we liked it. That was a time when there were no ice sheets covering either Greenland or West Antarctica. Much of the East Antarctic ice sheet was gone. Temperatures were up 7 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer globally, at least double that at the poles, and sea levels were 65 feet higher. This is, again, 1.2 million years ago. When the SUV, of course, I mean, GM at that time, I think their SUV output, they were so much higher than it is today. So much higher than it is today. And I know I feel like I'm late to the party here because it's, Earth Day was Sunday. I did pee in the backyard on Sunday for Earth Day. Think about the water you save when you pee in the backyard. You're not flushing the toilet,
Isn't
are
that
you?
what a guy's supposed to do?
Yes. That's what dogs do.
We teach our sons that early in life.
You must pee in the yard at some point. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I got in trouble for peeing in the front yard. You know, you have to make minor course adjustments when you're a kid. As a parent, especially, you have to teach the kids. Apparently, I took a little longer to learn than some, but I very distinctly remember. It was the front yard, and there was a tree, and I guess I hadn't been told you only do it in the backyard. Apparently, you can get arrested if you do it in the front yard. But there's good news out of global warming. It has made the world's rich richer and the poor poorer.
What?
Yes. Global warming, in part due to rising temperatures from human-caused climate change. The gap between the world's poorest and richest people has increased in the past half century. This is according to a new study released yesterday.
So global warming did that?
Yes.
I thought government did that.
No. Government's here to help. That's what Reagan said. Seven most dangerous words were from the government, and we're here to help. The results of this study show that most of the poorest countries on Earth are considerably poorer than they would have been without global warming. This is according to a Stanford University climate scientist, Noah Diffenbaugh. Wasn't he in
funny.
Devo? Diffenbaugh. No, that was Mark Mothersbaugh. Or was that Oingo Boingo? There's one of them. He's the lead author of the study published yesterday, The Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. That's where it was published. At the same time, the majority of rich countries are richer than they would have been. Specifically, soaring temperatures have enriched cooler, wealthier countries like Sweden. It's always the Swedes. You ever notice the Swedish actresses are not afraid to get naked in movies?
Yes.
I
might have noticed that.
They will take their clothes off at the drop of a hat.
No shame.
All hail Sweden. Canada and Norway, the global warming the soaring temperatures are dragging down economic growth in warmer, economically shaky nations like India and Nigeria. Why is this? They say, well, crops are more productive, people are healthier, and we're more productive at work when temperatures are neither too hot nor too cold. Thank you, Captain Obvious. The study's co-author, Marshall Burke, also of Stanford, explains this means that in cold countries, a little bit of warming can help. The opposite is true in places that are already hot. This is genius work. I may have decided that what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a scientist at Stanford. I can say things like this.
And still get paid for it.
Oh, these guys, they're making a lot of money. According to the study from 1961 to 2010, the average person in the world's poorest countries saw their wealth drop by as much as 30%.
I just love the picture they chose for the story.
Yeah,
look at the ground.
You know,
that's what my backyard looks like at the end of summer.
You know, you got to be careful. You can twist an ankle walking across that stuff. This is obviously a dry riverbed of some sort because the soil is cracked. It looks like elephant skin.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, you know what? That would look, if the humans weren't in that picture, that would be a very cool picture as like a texture for your phone background. But the two guys in there screw it all up. So, poor countries getting poorer, richer countries getting richer. I think that about wraps it up there. Global warming bad, man bad. Global warming last time happened 1.2 million years ago when General Motors had probably the highest output of their SUVs. Oh, but wait, when we try to go green, wait until you hear what wind farms do. Yeah, they're on to the president, by the way, for saying that wind farms cause cancer.
I read a story the other day about wind farms somehow or another electrocuting cattle.
Well, yeah, if they bite into the electrical line.
What in the hell?
In the meantime, before we get to that, you need to know that if you have dry skin, if you have dry eyes, if you have night blindness, if you're infertile or have trouble conceiving, that means getting pregnant, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you have trouble conceiving, these or delayed growth, these could all be signs of a vitamin A deficiency. You know how I found that out? I Googled it. That's why you need to take part in the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. So the Rich Solution, Gwen and Adam are behind all of this, and they want to help you get into a healthier lifestyle. That means eating right. That means getting exercise. That means taking the right supplements. I mean, who wants dry skin?
Hey, look, I have to admit, when you see videos of Gwen Rich sitting on the beach,
Yes. She looks hot, doesn't she?
she does.
I'm telling you. She looks hot.
Not
She's
every woman
obviously
can
not
pull
the-
that off.
She's obviously, where the hell? She's obviously not the smartest woman in the world. She married Adam. But she is hot. And yes, I mean, look, Gwen still has cancer. She has had to deal with breaking her neck. She's had her share of problems in life. And the legacy she wants to leave behind is a legacy of helping other people. That's what it's all about. That's what therichsolution.com is all about. It's a place where you can find Gwen's story. I mean, seriously, you think you got problems? Read Gwen's story. We've all got issues. We all have our own problems. It's just how you deal with them. That's what makes everybody different. And if you are looking for a way to get healthier in this life, try the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. They have the kit there. You just scroll down on the front page to explore new, I think it's explore new supplements, and then scroll down a little bit from there, and you will find, as part of the Life Extension brand, you will find the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Kit. Buy that. You'll get better looking. Your IQ will go up, and you'll be healthier. As long as you couple that with, healthy eating and exercise as well. It is therichsolution.com. So, yeah, the president was catching grief for saying that wind farms could cause cancer. And everybody from Chuck Grassley to scientists everywhere, the president, certified moron.
Have you
Idiot.
driven through, like, West Texas or...
Oh, yeah, I've seen the big wind farms. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine who is now in federal prison, that's a different story. He was one of the, in Tehachapi, California, he was one of the original electricians on one of the first wind farms. Those things are huge.
They are huge.
When you see the turbines going down the street on the back of a truck, you ever seen that?
Yeah, you're about the... those things are probably, 2 or 3 semi-trailers long.
Oh, yeah, they're huge. They are really long. And apparently when they are spinning it, when you drive by them, you ever watch how they look like they're going in slow motion?
Real slow, yeah.
But you think about getting hit by one of those as it's going around. It's kind of, it's the same. I mean, there's so much mass and so much, I guess, energy behind them. You get hit by one of those and it could knock you out or worse. And that's exactly what's happening with birds. The president was talking about wind power. He says, if you like birds, you can't like wind power because you go to the bottom of these towers and you'll see a bunch of dead birds. As a matter of fact, smallest, an average of 300 red-tailed hawks, 333 American kestrels, and 380 burrowing owls are killed annually at Altamont. This is just one of the wind farms. In 2012, the Spanish Ornithological, some society that deals with birds, reviewed carcass counts from 136 monitoring studies. They concluded that Spain has 18,000 wind turbines are killing 6 to 18 million birds and bats every year. So we put up the wind farms and we're killing birds. Is it because they're flying into the blades? I would assume, or just poor timing. I would guess so. I mean,
because they don't spin super fast.
No, but if you're a bird, you're not looking for a big giant arm swinging through the air.
I guess not.
And apparently they're doing enough of a they're going fast enough that they will knock your ass out of the air. Apparently, especially if you are a bird.
Well, I guess my question is it somehow electrocuting them, or are they?
No, I think it's just whacking them upside the head.
Wow.
I guess it could be. Let's see. It was News is leaked that eagles are being hacked to death all across America.
Because of the wind turbines.
Because of the wind turbines. They perch on them. They rest or scan for prey. They come along because the turbines are often built in habitats that have abundant food and good winds for gliding. Let's see. Ospreys nesting. Blades don't deter them. Video shows turkey vultures. They get whacked. Yeah, there's some good pictures of them getting just whacked.
Yeah, there are places in West Texas and I think maybe Oklahoma where for as far as you can see along the horizon are the wind turbines.
They're amazing.
Probably, 100 yards apart?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they're majestic looking. These turbines, they're huge. They are a testament to human ingenuity and what we can do. But the president said,
but it's not like a propeller blade. I mean, it's not spinning so fast you can't see it.
No, because then they'd take off. They just up into space.
Yeah, but that's what's confusing me, I guess, about the birds flying into them.
They're spinning. I think they are spinning faster than you think.
Well, that may be the case.
They're spinning fairly quickly. Again, you get that much mass behind anything, and they'll knock you down. The president says, let's see, and they say noise causes cancer. You tell me that that one he said that he made a whirring noise mimicking a turbine, and then of course once he said that that these turbines and the noise could cause cancer, everybody was just on him. What an idiot! Idiot, fool, idiot in chief. Well, let's think about this. Wind turbine operations, they tend to create electromagnetic fields. They create shadow flicker. They create audible noise. They create low-frequency noise and infrasound. So if they are creating EMF, that can actually, wind that and noise can actually have an effect on your cardiovascular health. The role of noise, and this is according to a Nobel Peace Prize winner, Robert Cook. He said back in 1910, one day man will have to fight noise as fiercely as cholera and pests. And apparently that's come true. The role of noise as an environmental pollutant and its impact on health being increasingly recognized. They're saying now that increased noise can lead to arterial hypertension, myocardial infarction, stroke. These are scientists saying this same sign. I mean, you got scientists out there, 99.9999% sure that we've caused global warming. Scientists are also saying this.
Then how come I can sleep so well with my white noise machine?
Because you're not listening to the constant blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah. That's why. So
stop talking.
If the noise leads to heart disease, and they've now linked heart disease and colon cancer. People with coronary artery disease may be more likely to have colon cancer. Hence, wind turbines, if you connect the right dots, can lead to cancer. So there you have it.
Stephen Isle says that he thinks it's the air pressure issue in front of or near the wind turbines plus the electromagnetic output.
There you go. Whatever it is, they're dead on the ground underneath the turbines.
I might be able to see that.
Well, something's killing them, whether it's the thing spinning or the electrical output or the EMF, whatever it is, birds are dying underneath these turbines.
Wow.
Which, anytime you get people involved in stuff, you're going to have some collateral damage.
Right.
Yeah, with too many bald eagles flying around anyway. They just get in the way. They'd fly into your jet engine otherwise, right? If you didn't get rid of them with the wind turbines, your jet engine. Do you really want a jet airplane to go down? No.
I started to say, how many birds are like Dallas-Fort Worth Airport killing every year? Then again, I guess we would know it, right? Because I think it tends to put a plane back down on the ground.
There you go. The average person spends 23 days a year on their cell phone.
That's the average person.
23
I think I spend
days.
84 days a year on my phone.
3.9 years of the average person's life is spent staring at their telephone screen.
That's only going to increase.
3.4 years out of your life. Wouldn't it be nice if every time you stared at your phone, you knew you were doing something good? Doing something good for conservative and libertarian causes? Well, you could be if you go to patriotmobile.com. You will find there the country's only conservative cell phone company. When you have a Patriot Mobile account, a portion of the money you pay them each month for your cell phone service goes to conservative and libertarian causes like the NRA. the legislative affiliate of Family Research Council, the Susan B. Anthony List, the Heritage Foundation, and others. Go to patriotmobile.com. You will see how you can be a part of the solution and not the problem. And do it in a pretty passive way if you think about it. patriotmobile.com. patriotmobile.com. By the way, you can keep your same phone and number. Get a new one. It's up to you. More amazing facts that you can't live without coming up on your Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4Fs: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill for Tuesday. Thank you, CNN, for gathering a bunch of the Democratic candidates for the presidency all into one town hall. Yes, I know there are 7,811 of them so far. When Biden declares, that'll be 7,812. But last night, you brought a handful of them together. And I think the most important thing we learned last night is that Bernie Sanders, one of the top candidates for the Democratic nomination, Bernie Sanders actually wants felons to vote. Not just felons, but convicted terrorists like the Boston Marathon bomber. He wants them to vote. He was asked the question. He said it. Chris Cuomo gave him a chance to dial it back, and he didn't.
You know, this is what I believe. Do you believe in democracy? Do you believe that every single American 18 years of age or older who's an American citizen has the right to vote? Once you start chipping away at that, believe me, that's what our Republican governors all over this country are doing. They come up with all kinds of excuses why people of color, young people, poor people can't vote. And I will do everything I can to resist it. This is a democracy. We've got to expand that democracy. And I believe every single person does have the right to vote.
So come here, break the law. We don't care. We'll let you vote. We'll support you. This is the modern Democratic Party. Terrorists, child rapists, all kinds of people should be given the right to vote from behind bars. Stupid. Testudo, my friend. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Wow, Dwarf Clone nailed it. By the way, get your communiques in using the hashtag What I Learned Today. Dwarf Clone just tweeted, progressives aren't really interested in alternative energies. If they were, they would not have killed nuclear power for electricity and hydrogen fuel cells for cars and trucks. You know, you really have to stop using common sense. It'll just make you go crazy. That one jackhole says wind turbines spin at the equivalent of 2 miles an hour. You know, 2 miles an hour. If you're not ready for it, I'll take your ass out. Well, especially if you're a bird. I mean, a bird doesn't weigh, 10 pounds maybe? I mean, that's a big bird. Not big bird, because big bird weighs more than that, but a large.
Well, I can tell you that at the far ends of those blades, that's not 2 miles an hour.
They're going pretty fast. Stinky said around 100 miles per hour at the tip.
Yeah.
Just at the tip.
That's what I'm saying.
So there you go. And we have two, obviously, scientists there giving us that information. So we'll see what happens. Timmy, the pilot, is on the line. He, being a pilot, being a scientist of aeronautical space. So you have some facts and figures on turbines?
Yeah, just call me Frankenstein. Anyway, them blades are so large that they're traveling a lot faster at the tip. Ron was correct. They're really moving. They're almost breaking a sound barrier at the tips.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm very serious. Them blades are so long, they're going very slow when they're turning. But if you think about the rate,
I should have asked how long they are.
Yeah, they're about 120 feet on each blade.
Right.
And when they're moving at the top of that blade, they're moving quite rapidly. If you imagine a huge circle,
sure,
the diameter, the space that travels through that area at the tip of the blade, they're moving very, very fast.
Right. It's like a wheel. It's going faster on the outside of the wheel than it is on the inside of the wheel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. So they're moving almost at the speed of sound. They have dampers on them to keep them from accelerating at that speed.
That is amazing when you think about that. Because obviously they don't look like they're moving that fast when you stand there and look at them. They're just so large.
Right. I'll give you an example. Have you seen a jet coming in on final approach? It looks like it's going real slow.
Right.
Like a big 747 or what I fly to 777. When you're looking at it, we're actually coming in at about 150 to 160 knots. And they look like they're going very slow through the air.
Yeah, that's true.
Same perception.
Yeah, that's true.
And another thing about the turbine blades,
mm-hmm.
they create what they call wake turbulence off them blades moving through the air.
Right.
Just like we cause off of our wings.
Right.
Just imagine the blades as an airplane wing. So that all them birds and anything flying around them blades get caught up in that wake turbulence, and it literally can kill them, knock them down to the ground, just like a wake turbulence can knock me down to the ground if I'm behind another jet too close.
Right.
I mean,
that makes perfect
it
sense.
spirals off there. So
that makes perfect sense. Did we lose him?
Oh, no, you guys have a great day. I hope that helped out.
It absolutely did. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the information. You can always count on Timmy the pilot to inform and entertain. Ohio Whackbird says it's illegal to own a hawk feather, but a wind farm can kill as many hawks as they want every day. It's true. It's pretty amazing. Ron, I can't believe Ron is leaving at the. Oh, you're not leaving. Oh, good, because
no, not till 8.
You know what time it is.
What time is it? Oh, it's the Odyssey Minute.
Yes. It's time for our Odyssey Minute. And I jumped ahead a story just for you.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. Scientists have been able to create a living machine that can eat, grow, and evolve. How scary is that?
Do we not have those already?
Called women. Hold on a second. Hang on. Thank you.
Like nano machines or something like that. What is this one?
Like nanites. Engineers at Cornell University have created a DNA-based biomaterial that is more lifelike than ever seen before. Their creation is capable of self-assembly, of organization, and metabolism, which are the 3 key traits of life. They did, of course, leave out sandwich making. I guess that would be a combination of organization and self-assembly. For an organism to sustain itself, it must be able to remove old cells and create new ones. Biosynthesis and biodegradation are key to self-sustainability, and it must be capable of metabolism to sustain itself. So scientists using what they call DNA-based assembly and synthesis of hierarchical dash. That's dash materials for those of you who aren't scientists. I mean, I hate to talk down to you and all.
Dash material. It materials. Says that right on the page, Brad.
Shut up. Engineers developed. I've seen Star Trek. I know how this stuff works.
Yes, sir.
Engineers developed a unique biomaterial that has the basic properties of living things. From nanoscale building blocks, the material can arrange itself into polymers and then into mesoscale shapes. The DNA molecules multiplied hundreds of thousands of times, and it synthesized new strands when they introduced a reaction solution. As it did, the front end of the material grew, the tail end degraded, which created a moving motion that allowed the researchers to race sets of this material with one another. How cool would it be to work in that laboratory? Creating their own bioworms, essentially. All of its abilities were unaided by any external force, so it did it all by itself. So far, the material can only last for 2 cycles before it dies. But researchers say that its longevity can be extended. This is pretty wild. The engineers basically grew the machines, observed them metabolize, grow, evolve, race, and eventually decay. Such a creation could lead to self-reproducing or perhaps even self-evolving machines. This is either really, really fascinating or scarier than hell. They're working now on how to make the material recognize stimuli and autonomously seek out food or light, or even to avoid it if it is harmful. This is how Skynet started. We are on the trail to Skynet. Let's just hope we create the United Federation of Planets first.
Well, yes, but I think we're way down the trail for Skynet already, and people just don't know it yet.
I mean, it's scary when you think about it. Machines or material that, I mean, they created life in the laboratory. Go to odyssey1.com for the Odyssey Network. That's the Dare to Wonder. It's our science fiction, science fact. It's all about the possibilities of what could be. And if you, some great shows over there too. Just go to Odyssey 1. It's ODYSY and the numeral 1, odyssey1.com. New part of our family here at Cuddle Me Buff, which is the most unique name you'll find on any corporation. Cuddle Me Buff. It's odyssey1.com. And while you go there, make sure that you buy something. Maybe you could buy something like fake chocolates. One guy bought his mother fake chocolates for Mother's Day, which, by the way, is coming up very soon. Very soon, May 12th. He said his mom thought that the fake chocolates were real and looked very disappointed when she opened them up and they weren't real. Another guy, he made a yellow mug with a smiley face in art class. It was yellow and it resembled a demon by the time he was done. It certainly did resemble a demon. A demonic yellow mug. He says it scared even me. He didn't mean to, but he gave his mom a demonic yellow mug for Mother's Day. Why would you give your mother a plunger for Mother's Day? Well, she had a clogged toilet. I guess that would be the reason. Now, you can buy any of these things if you want to, but our suggestion is actually you go to MoJoWildRice.com and get her a MoJo Wild Rice Mom's Day gift pack. It is packed full of all the good stuff that she'll like. It does not have a plunger in it, nor does it have a demonic yellow mug, but it does have some good stuff like the wild rice flour pancake mix. It also has the honey in there. It's got all kinds of stuff in there. It's sitting right away. I mean, you can see it if you're watching on if you're watching at Mojo 50 TV, or if you're watching on Facebook if they haven't pulled us down yet. It has delicious blueberry jam, hazelnut honey. It's got a pure soy candle. She'll think of you every time make sure she doesn't eat the candle, that she actually lights the candle and then eats the jam and the honey. Use a promo code MOM10 and you will get 10% off your Mother's Day crate or any other item in your cart. That's how nice they are at MoJoWildRice.com. If you get your order in by Sunday, May 5th, which, by the way, let's see, today is the 23rd. So it's a week from this Saturday? May 5th. Whenever it is. When is May 5th? It's next week sometime. Get your order in by May 5th, and you will have guaranteed delivery by Mother's Day. You won't disappoint your mother, and she'll think that you are the bee's knees. It was on this day in 1564, William Shakespeare was born. And then he died on this day in what... he was not that old. He was like 52 when he died. He died April 23rd, 1616. That's pretty wild to be born and die on the same day. That's fairly rare. And it was on this day. I'd forgotten this had happened. Chrysler, back in 1987, bought Lamborghini. That was not a marriage that was made to last. Lamborghini and Chrysler there's just something about the same company that builds the Town and Country minivan. This just doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't work with the Lamborghini. Let's see. How much did they pay? The deal media reported Chrysler paid $25 million for Lamborghini, which is pretty close to the price of a single car. Lamborghini, established in 1963 by Ferruccio Lamborghini, a wealthy Italian industrialist. You can buy a Lamborghini, by the way, today. I believe it's called the Huracan. Lamborghini Huracan. For that price, you know what? For the price you pay, you can call it any damn thing you want to. This thing, wow. The Lamborghini Huracan Evo will go 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. Jeff, you ever driven a Lamborghini? He's not paying any attention to me. It'll go 2.3 seconds, 0 to 60 in 2.3. Its top speed is 202 miles an hour. And for that, you will pay a mere, are you sitting down? $207,369 for a Lamborghini Huracan. Again, if you paid $202,000, you can call it anything you want to. In other science news, there's because of the opioid crisis in this country, that they, to combat the problem of increasing death rate in the U.S. due to opioid overdose, the FDA has approved a generic variant of naloxone. It is a nasal drug that is used to rapidly reverse the effects of an opioid overdose and prevent death. So it's kind of like an EpiPen for opioid overdoses. It'll come in the form of a nasal spray. It'll be easily administered by anyone to help a patient who is OD'd. The first generic naloxone hydrochloride nasal spray, better known as Narcan, is from the Israel-based company Teva Pharmaceuticals. And remember, it was the Israelis who have said that within the year they will have a cure. Is it a cure or a vaccine for cancer? But either way, they're going to have. They're going to be combating cancer in a huge way in the following year, in the coming year. So that's something to watch out for. A story out of Arkansas, Miller County, Arkansas. Authorities were called to a woman's home in Miller County. They found a few things in her home that they had to confiscate. They found 260 rats. They found 11 pythons, including a reticulated python. They found 7 birds, 6 dogs, 4 hamsters, 2 puppies, 2 rabbits, 2 mice, 2 other snakes, including a king snake, 4 lizards, including a bearded dragon, a monitor lizard, a leopard gecko, and a tegu. They also found a ferret and a kitten. The situation apparently got out of control. The animals simply were not adequately cared for, according to Miller County Sheriff's Deputy Mark Lewis. Some of the animals obviously needed cleaning. Some of the cages needed cleaning. Do you know how much work that would be just to take care of 11 pythons? That is a lot of work. Not to mention 260 rats. Oh, you know what I should do? Just because I stopped in earlier today, and I knew it. Is it time for the percolator? Just in the MeWe chat room, I had a bearded dragon. Hey-oh. Hold on a second. Thank you. It's a cancer vaccine, which is meant to cure cancer. They call it a vaccine because its mechanism of action is somewhat similar to a vaccine. Thank you, Wayne Lyon, over in the MeWe chat room, regarding the vaccine for cancer that the Israelis are developing. Let's see if there's anything else I can read there. Big fan of the dominatrix Jen. It's fun to read these backwards, unless it's a child. Time to charge all devices. Human vertebrae much bigger. Maybe. Zig, you are a freak. I'm thinking, nah. Kinky. Which just goes to show if you read anything backwards, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Well, what was the word?
Which word? Kinky?
Is that the word you were reading backwards?
No. I was reading the comments in the MeWe chat room. I was reading them in reverse order. They make about as much sense in reverse order as they do going forward, but I just, they want.
Sometime in my teens, I got into this kick of reading signs backwards. I don't know why.
This explains a lot, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Did you ever watch Twin Peaks?
No.
Twin Peaks, that was one of the things that they did in the Red Room.
Was read stuff backwards?
Everything they spoke was backwards. And the actor, apparently there was, he spoke backwards. I mean, he learned how to speak the words backwards. So it wasn't just reversing, wasn't recording the dialogue and then speaking it, or then playing it backwards. He actually spoke it backwards.
But if you were to play it in reverse, it would sound correct.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that right there, my friends, is a talent. That is a talent. In North Carolina, you never know what you're going to trip on the beach. A middle schooler there last week visiting the beach with her family found a shark tooth that could be up to 3 million years old. They believe that she found a megalodon fossilized tooth. This is, of course, the subject of the movie The Meg. A massive shark went extinct millions of years ago. As I'm looking around, I see something half buried in the sand. I uncovered it. It keeps on coming, and it's a big tooth. There's the bell. And then I hold it up, and I'm screaming for my mom. The girl and her family engaged in a friendly competition to find shark teeth. Her sisters found several teeth, but of course, this girl having to outdo them all. You may have found shark teeth, but I found a megalodon tooth. Almost 3 million years old. Pretty surprised that she found one. I've been looking for 25 years, haven't found anything. This is what her father said. I was really shocked and excited for her that she found something that big. I feel but there's your bell. Are you happy, Leprechaun? Are you happy now? We were discussing global warming a little bit earlier, and all of the bad things that could happen. Hawaii's Waikiki Beach could soon be underwater because of rising sea levels caused by climate change. So if you have any thought or any hope of visiting Hawaii before sometime in your life, do it sooner rather than later. It could be underwater in a matter of years as a result of rising sea levels. Politicians have warned. Well, in the latest alert about the threat of the to the shoreline of Honolulu located on the island of Oahu, legislators have said the city could start to experience frequent flooding within the next 15 to 20 years. It's always in the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's going to happen in 10 years. You know why? Because in 10 years, you will have forgotten about the warning. So in 10 years, it'll be another 10 years. That's why they do it that way. They've warned such a development would have a devastating effect on tourism. Well, yeah. I mean, come on. If the hotels are underwater, how are you going to get your luggage? Wait a minute. You could just float your luggage up. This might be it. This actually could be a benefit. Underwater hotel rooms. You put on a snorkel suit. I guess you'd have to put on full scuba gear. No. You wouldn't have to put on full scuba gear because that would require classes. You just take long hoses. They go to the top of the building where you just suck on the hoses while you're in your hotel room. There's a joke in there, and I'm not even. Thank you. They've warned such a development would have a devastating effect on tourism. As I said, Hawaiian politicians are demanding efforts to try and protect the vulnerable shoreline, that they begin those efforts now. Damn it, protect our shoreline and protect it now. The latest data on sea level rise, quite scary. It's accelerating faster than we ever thought possible, said State Representative Chris Lee, Democrat and lead author of a bill that calls for the creation of a protection plan. The project would focus on urban Honolulu, but it would also act as a pilot program for other coastal communities around the state. The bill has been tabled by Mr. Lee. It notes that due to climate change, Hawaii has seen over 1/2 foot of sea level rise in recent decades, and the rate of sea level rise is quickly accelerating. Honolulu expected to begin seeing flooding, regular flooding of the urban core in as little as 15 years. Climate change and warming seas also causing Hawaii to see more hurricanes of increasing intensity than ever before. A direct hit on Honolulu is expected to mean a loss of... that'd be 40 trillion? 40 trillion, I think. Million, billion, yeah. $40 trillion to Hawaii's infrastructure and the economy. The loss of coastal property and infrastructure, increased cost for storm damage and insurance, and loss of life are inevitable if nothing is done, which will add a significant burden to local taxpayers, to the state's economy, and to the way of life in Hawaii if something is not done. I'm just going to let that settle in for a second. Let that settle in. By the way, if you have not yet been to the MoJo 50 goodies store, do so today. We still have plenty of Doc Thompson merchandise, and when I say plenty, we'll keep making it as long as you keep buying it for a limited time only. At MoJo50.com, just click on shop. You will find the hats. You will find the shirts. You will find everything you need to make your life complete because, let's face it, without a MoJo50 shirt or a hat, your life is incomplete. You are a mere shell of a person. You're not living up to your full potential without your MoJo50 hat. This story is just for our friends Tech Roo and the rest of the furries. His name is Kaz James. He's 37. He lives in Salford, Greater Manchester. He has embraced his true self as he believes that he is a human pup. And when I say pup, I mean dog. He believes he never felt like a human, as he has embraced his true self by living life as a human puppy, even eating his meals from a bowl. Can we grab that there, Ron? Can we look at that full screen? Can we see exactly what Kaz James looks like in his full getup, his full costume, as his true self? This is Kaz in his, I would describe him as not an unattractive dog.
Now, he's living as the dog.
He's
right?
living as the dog.
He's not like a furry.
No, he's not really like a furry. When I say I dedicated this to Tech Roo and the rest of the furries, I just, this is like their ugly cousin. This is the member of the family. This is like the black sheep of the family, only it's not a sheep and it's not black. It's more of a brown dog. But he lives his life as a dog. He eats out of a bowl. And
but he's got to take the mask off to eat, right?
I would hope so. I mean, here's what he looks like without the mask. He's a little like Darth Vader. He's a little like Anakin Skywalker without the dog face on.
Wow.
He works as a store manager. He claims that he regularly unleashes his inner self by barking at his friends and carrying items with his teeth. He even snacks on the Bonio dog biscuits. I guess that's a brand of dog biscuit in the UK. So when you get up, when you think you have problems, when you think you are going crazy in life, just remember Kaz James, who lives his life as a dog. Although laying around on the couch, I wonder, I'm assuming he's housebroken.
You would think so. Then again, all dudes pee in the yard.
That's true. But I mean, see, he has the benefit of having thumbs. He has thumbs, so he doesn't have to worry about it. So just remember Kaz James the next time you are having issues.
I'll try not to. Thank you.
You're very welcome. They're now saying that autism is somehow connected to the gut microbiome. Research found that autistic children often experience chronic gastrointestinal problems a lot more frequently than children without autism. This has led scientists from the Arizona State University in Tempe to explore whether a fairly new form of therapy, microbiota transfer therapy, or MTT, can help solve gastrointestinal issues in autistic kids. Also, they wanted to see whether this intervention could affect other autism markers. This MTT involves collecting, processing, and freezing the fecal material of healthy people and then administering it orally or rectally to the person receiving the treatment. Wow. I'm telling you, gut bacteria is every day something. By the way, this is at the website Medical News Today. Every day they're finding something new about gut bacteria. They're finding out how it's connected to every part of our lives, whether it's depression or weight gain or, in this case, autism. I mean, of course, it's all, it's in its early stages. I mean, we, for whatever reason, we just have not in the past ever looked at gut bacteria as being that influential over different aspects of our lives. But we're finding out more. We're finding out more on a daily basis. If you have, this is When you think about it, it's minor problems, unless, of course, you're experiencing bloating, abdominal discomfort. They are not a normal thing. You should not have to be suffering with these things. The problem isn't in your head, it's in your gut. Atrantil can help, and that's what you'll find at lovemytummy.com. It's actually it's the only over-the-counter solution to bloating, powered by a 3-step method and a blend of quebracho, Colorado, horse chestnut, peppermint extracts. It was developed by Dr. Ken. He's a gastroenterologist. He, by the way, Atrantil is not a probiotic. You hear that word tossed around a lot. It's not a probiotic. It is clinically proven. However, it targets the problem bacteria in your gut. It's called Atrantil. It works to produce long-term relief for the effects of difficult-to-treat digestive symptoms while promoting a healthy gut. And you'll find it at lovemytummy.com. That's really all you need to remember. Lovemytummy.com for Atrantil. Yes, S.K. Thompson, he really likes doggy style. I mean, everything from, the doggy style of laying on the couch there to the doggy style of eating. Everything else. Whiskey Cow Pimp, he may think he's a dog, but I'll bet Kaz can't lick his own. That reminds me of a joke that I can't tell. Yeah, this is your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. No evidence to back it up, but ISIS claims responsibility for the deadly Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka, where they've started laying the victims to rest. Funerals underway for some of the 321 people killed in the bombings and also wounded 500 people. The BBC's Barasan Ethirajan is in Colombo, says not only is Sri Lanka in a state of shock, the country is also under a state of emergency.
Following the attacks, the government has declared a state of national emergency, which came into force Monday night. The emergency declaration will give police and military extensive powers to detain and interrogate suspects without court orders.
Authorities are investigating reports that advance warnings of a terror attack were ignored. A citizenship question hasn't been part of the census since the 1950s, but the Trump administration wants to bring it back for the 2020 head count. Today, the Supreme Court listens to arguments over whether the administration has the power to do that. With the Democrats divided over the issue, President Trump says he's not the least bit concerned about the possibility of impeachment.
With some liberal Democrats pushing their party to begin impeachment proceedings, the president was asked if he's worried. He told reporters, no, not even a little bit. And in response to a question about special counsel Robert Mueller's portrayal of a White House in which staffers often ignore the president's directives, Mr. Trump insisted that nobody disobeys my orders. Greg Clugston, the White House.
The Fold is on hold. Samsung delaying this week's planned rollout of its new Galaxy Fold. That's the pricey smartphone with the folding screen. Some reviewers reported their phones broke almost immediately, sending Samsung back to the drawing board. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures up 66 points. S&P futures 1.5 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone, RIDUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com. Bottom line, if you want to lose weight, go to Riduzone.com. That's RIDUzone.com. Riduzone has helped countless people lose weight, and they can help you too by boosting your metabolism and making you feel a little bit fuller naturally. Riduzone.com.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Nat and Ron. Weekday afternoon. MoJo 50.
Hey guys, it's Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Everyone lives with a little bit of pain, but living with diabetes can be a real pain. While you may have to test your blood sugar and take insulin, ordering your testing supplies shouldn't be one more pain you have to deal with. At least it's not when you work with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to your home when you need them. Gone are the days of visiting multiple stores to find the right strips, waiting in long lines to purchase your supplies, or sorting through your insurance requirements to figure out what they cover. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive saves you time and money. Plus, they're pretty fun to work with, too. So why don't you give Diathrive a chance to show you there's a better way to manage your diabetes? They're so convinced that you'll love their service that they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code MATT, that's M-A-T-T, at checkout. Be sure to head out to the web right now and check these guys out. It's Diathrive.com.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50. Mothership has landed.
I don't think the problem is that bad in Hawaii yet. Mojo Jedi said the problem there is that there are too many people and the islands may actually capsize like Guam.
I remember sitting there and watching that. I was watching that live as it happened.
You had to wonder, was he serious?
Oh, he was serious. But remember, at this time, the only thing I could think was like at this time, you know, Barack Obama had just won. Everyone was in charge in the Senate and the House, and so they were free to be as ridiculous as they possibly could be, and that's what they came up with. Is the island going to flip over?
Well, you don't want it to flip over, do you?
If I was seriously, I just want one person. One thing, yeah, no, it's totally going to flip over. It's going to be crazy. Oh my God!
Would it not suck if it did?
I mean, it would kind of suck, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. By the way, since we're talking about the beach and things on the beach, I went down the internet rabbit hole, and this was just a little sidebar story I saw when I was looking at something else. And Jeff, go ahead and take this full screen because that's Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly on
Hello, Megyn Kelly.
Kayaking.
On a kayak?
On a kayak. I think.
How are you today?
Yeah, she's on a paddleboard kayak. She's like 40. She looks good.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly should do the news wearing a bikini.
You know, they have a network for that.
Telemundo? I'm just saying. I mean, she is in really good shape.
Yeah, she has. Man, look at it. She's got. Zoom in on the abs if you can,
I know,
man.
That's as close
is that as close?
That's as close as
look
I
at.
get.
She actually has a six-pack.
Yeah, she does.
Like that's crazy.
That's impressive right there.
Man, I kind of feel a little ashamed of me right now.
Let's see here. Here's a shot of her catching a water bottle. That's a good looking shot. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
You just have.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Good job, Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good for her.
I am impressed.
I am impressed too.
I'm impressed.
By the way, Jeff, we are all counting on you.
Don't screw this up, Jeff.
Please don't screw this up. We can't. Rondolph had to go take TCB. He had to go take care of some business, and
Rondolph had to take the one ring to. Yeah.
He's got the Olympic torch. He's running with his leg of the Olympic torch this morning. So
I'm so proud of him.
Jeff is guy behind the glass for the rest of the morning. If you're looking for a new job, some of the best companies to work for in 2019. Don't look at me like that when I say that. Don't look at me like that. America's best employer. We'll get to in just a second. The top 10 best companies to work for, and this was on a scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10 rather.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, it goes up to 10, and the based on employees' satisfaction, being happiest, whether they were satisfied with the culture inside.
Mm-hmm.
The Michelin Group,
like the tire group,
yeah. Automotive and automotive suppliers, they came in at number 10. They scored a 9.27.
Really?
I wouldn't have thought that either.
I would never in a million years would I have been like, oh yeah, tires.
Well, and it's not just, I guess it's not just the people out there on the line, slinging rubbers.
Right.
What's what they call them? The rubbers.
Slinging rubbers.
Slinging rubbers.
Just slinging rubbers.
Right.
Just slinging rubbers.
It's also the people in the office. I knew a friend of mine worked for Bridgestone for years, and she liked it.
Maybe
and she liked it that way.
Yeah, maybe working, going into a different industry here, like a little tire industry might be the better idea.
You never know.
Never know.
Mayo Clinic came in at number 9.
I don't know if I could work at a clinic.
A clinic would be okay if it wasn't for all the sick people.
See, and
that's the problem. It's like a hospital. It'll be great to work at, except you got all these sick and like people that are bleeding and stuff.
Being from Galveston, like pretty much everyone works at UTMB.
Right.
And so the vast majority of my friends were nurses. Male
or female nurses?
Yes.
Good.
And I got to tell you, like the stuff that they tell me, like unless you're a doctor.
Right.
You're going to work and you're probably going to be wiping butts, cleaning up blood. Like you're going to be doing all the stuff that is just like
that the people who've been there for a while don't want to do. That's why they give the job to the new guy.
Not even just like if you've been there for a while. Like if you're a doctor, you obviously don't have to deal with this nonsense. Right. And I got to tell you, man, doctors compared to nurses, man, doctors, I realize they go through a lot more schooling and stuff like that, but they've got it easy compared to the nurses.
Right?
They walk in, they spend maybe a grand total of maybe 10 minutes. Grand.
And
total.
Isn't that irritating when they walk into you and you're the patient and you're like, hey, dog, and they go, yeah, she'll be right into
yeah, exactly. And then you're sitting waiting like it's some kind of concert. Like,
yeah. It's like, wait a minute, I paid $200 for you to come in for 30 seconds.
The nurse is just the opening act. She's
right.
Like, the doctor will be here soon. Are you excited? Are you excited about the doctor? Yes. And then, then they turn off the lights.
And then the doctor comes in and wipes your butt.
Yeah. No, the doctor just talks to you about needing your butt wiped.
And then
he's like, the nurse will be back in here to do it.
To wipe your butt.
To wipe your butt.
SC Johnson is number 1098. Or I guess I could, instead of trying counting backwards in my head, look at the digit to the left. SC Johnson has a 9.28. Packaged goods is what they sell.
Packaged goods?
Packaged goods. As opposed to unpackaged goods.
I was going to say the packaged goods are great.
Right?
Yeah.
Because without a package, your goods just spill everywhere.
That's right.
Do you have sloppy goods when you don't have a package?
Nobody likes sloppy goods.
Nobody. Well, there's
Nobody
that
likes
one guy
goods.
who likes sloppy goods. Stanford University came in number 7 on the best places to work with a 9.3. Stanford. I believe that they were the... wasn't Stanford where they just came out with a climate study? I believe they were, that said there's a 99 was if it wasn't Stanford, it should have been. Now one of the climate studies that just came out that we're all going to die. Google is number 6 on the list. Garmin. Okay, Garmin.
Google is number 6 on the list?
Google is number 6.
Here's a funny thing about that. Especially with the major Silicon Valley companies right now, I would have figured it would have been a little lower.
I would have thought so. It's actually the only...
Like Amazon, the way that they treat their workers, it's almost like they don't even look at them as human. Like they're almost machines to them. And I'm surprised that very few people like get upset about this.
You mean Amazon workers?
Yeah.
Well, they're getting paid.
Well, they're getting paid, but I mean, like, so what?
Yeah,
I hear like there are some like weird things that happen there. Like they have like panic attacks, and if you have a panic attack, then you're sent like off. Like,
well, if you have a panic attack, you're defective.
Apparently, it's very common in Silicon Valley to have panic attacks.
You know what? At Amazon, if you have a panic attack and you cause one of the things I recently ordered on Amazon was the iron cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a panic attack and it causes me not to get my iron cleaner next day, I'm pissed.
Yeah?
Go have your panic attack somewhere else.
How?
I expect to get the thing that I have ordered immediately, if not sooner.
How spoiled are we now?
I know, right? It's
like, oh my God, can you believe
it took
that my new pair of Allbirds shoes were a day late?
I look at something now on Amazon and I go, what? It's going to take 2 days to get here? I can't have it delivered tomorrow?
God.
And in some days, it's same-day delivery. If you order it in the morning, they drop it off to your house in the afternoon. That is freakish, is what that is.
How will I survive without my Victorian-era pen set?
Right. You used to have to wait weeks.
I want it now!
Garmin is at number 5. I thought Garmin just made GPS machines.
No. They make all sorts of machines.
See, and
all
I
sorts.
thought
They're like Texas Instruments.
And when the furries were here and Tech Rue and the gang were here, they actually were using a Garmin.
Yeah.
And I said, well, because I thought when phones with GPS on it and you got guidance on there, why would you need a Garmin and a phone?
Right.
But they do.
No, yeah, they make a lot of stuff actually, stuff you wouldn't even think about.
Costco is at number 4 on the list with a 9.39. Lily at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because you're working her on drugs. Hello. And Southwest Airlines at 9.54 is number 2, and at the top of the list with a 9.59 rating. Who do you think it is?
Chick-fil-A.
Trader Joe's.
Really? Trader J's?
Trader J's.
Oh, man.
Trader. I barely knew her. See what I'm saying? Hey, at least you don't have to work in an ice house.
Well, who wants to do that?
You know, ice was harvested and stored in China before the first millennium.
Really?
Hebrews, Greeks, and Romans placed large amounts of snow into storage pits and covered the ice with insulating material. You mix in melted snow, bury your container right into the snow. No snow. Do it like the ancient Egyptians. Fill your earthen jar with boiled water and stick it on your roof, exposing it to the night's cool air.
Okay.
Or you could get a cat cooler.
Oh, I would like that a lot better.
It would just make more sense than having to go out, find snow, bury it underground, and wait.
Yeah, that's right. You won't have to venture into the mountains.
No.
You can just get it right there in your cat cooler.
You can still walk like an Egyptian.
Or
just don't go forward and go forth and fill your earthen jar with boiled water. Stick it upon your roof. Expose it to the night's cool air, and you shall have cool water tomorrow.
I mean, I get the principle.
Or just turn on the tap. And
yeah, I was going to say. Didn't they have that back then? What a bunch of... they're like Amish. Stupid Egyptians.
Hey, Bob, why are you putting it on your roof? Why just go to your sink, man?
Just like, Bob, why are you putting it on your roof? I want to drink some water, bro.
Just get a cat cooler. It just makes so much more sense than sticking stuff on your roof or in a snowbank. That's just so yesterday. That is so last millennium.
Yeah, seriously.
That is just, it's stupid if you do anything other than buy a cat cooler.
That's right.
I mean, their cooler is so rugged, it changes everything.
That's true.
You'll get better looking if you buy a cat cooler.
100% accurate.
Which is tough for somebody like me.
You know how sometimes the ugly girl stands next to the pretty girl so the pretty girl can look prettier?
Yes.
What happens to you when you stand next to the cat cooler is exact opposite. You actually look cooler.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, you get smarter.
Mm-hmm.
You get better looking. You're cooler. People like you more.
Exactly. It's because they know that you're a fun but durable guy who probably has some cold drinks on him.
Yes.
And people like that about you.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. I mean, I wouldn't personally use a cat cooler as a status symbol, but it does come as a side benefit, as a little side benny.
Because owning a cat cooler, Brad, as you know, is more than just a shallow kind of surface thing.
Course.
It's really a deep metaphysical,
very deep
metaphysical thing.
Really
where
deep.
you just really
deep.
Yeah.
Deep
super
and wide.
Super deep.
Yeah. You can get any color as long as it's yellow, black, white, or camo. I think that's, you know what? No one needs more choices than that, quite frankly.
But you know what? You can have them.
Yeah, you
if
can.
You want to.
Yeah, you can.
If you go to catcoolers.com.
And what promo? I mean, let's just say I was crazy and wanted to save 10%.
Oh, I know what you would do there.
What would I do?
You would enter promo code Brandon.
Aha!
And they would give you 10% off of your cat cooler purchase at catcoolers.com.
I knew that there was something I could do.
Oh, yeah.
Catcoolers.com, promo code Brandon. Watch Jeff freak out when I say we're about to do headlines. We're about to do headlines. Ron didn't tell you? Oh, it should say headlines bet up there.
Okay, wait a second. What?
It should be one of the top buttons over there on the iPad.
What's an iPad?
An iPad, it's a tablet computing device. You know, when they said hire the homeless, I wasn't. Should say headlines bet up there. Yeah, just see what happens if you push that button. See if that does anything. I mean, it might not.
Whoa! It did it!
Close enough for government work. We've scoured the globe,
That's
and
right.
here is the Brandon Morse from Red State with said headlines.
Wow, the new updated intro to it sounds a little. I mean, it's accurate, but it's not as dynamic.
I would just pull it down just a little bit since it's my ears are now bleeding. I'd keep pulling it down. I'd pull it down until. Yeah.
I think it's good right there.
Yeah.
That's
now put your
solid.
pants up. When I said pull it down, I didn't mean your pants, for crying out loud. Jeez. I'll take care of him. You do the headlines.
Oh, thank you so much, Jeff.
You can leave it running
Yeah,
up underneath.
we can leave that up. There we go.
Ron trained him well, didn't he? Ron did a good job.
Oh, I have 10 minutes to do headlines.
Yes, you do.
One of these is lies. Of the fives
Lies.
of headlines. You have to guess which one is fake. You know the drill, folks. First, in order to... See, this is just... It's so funny that you mentioned this. In order to increase productivity, Amazon is going to experiment...
On humans.
...with giving their workers in the factories wheelies.
I almost thought you were going to say old fashions.
I mean, that would help.
That would help.
Apparently in California, in one of their major warehouses, they're trying to look to increase the productivity by 350% by allowing employees to choose, they're not being forced, to choose to wear wheeled shoes that will allow them to roll across the product floor.
That's a good idea.
I think it is, actually. And you know what's funny is I actually feel like, why can't adults have that? Like, just randomly. Because it's like, for kids.
Great idea.
The kids are always, they got the wheelies, and I get jealous because I'm like, man, I'm just like slowly walking.
Right.
I could be going a lot faster right now.
And they get naps, too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Kids get all the good stuff.
Yeah. Assuring warehouse staff that they do not have to wear them if they don't want to. However, if they want to increase productivity, Bezos himself has said that should they don the wheeled shoes, they will be paid for participating in the experiment. They will be paid an extra $5 an hour.
If they wear the wheeled shoes, they get $5 an hour extra.
Extra.
Wow, that's
Extra.
It's like saying if you do this fun thing, we'll give you cake on top of it.
I know.
I like this Jeff Bezos man.
He's a smart guy.
He is a smart guy.
And there's a picture of his junk floating out there somewhere.
No big deal. Thank you.
Austrian prisoner escapes from prison, comes back.
It's not a tumor.
Because he has spent up his life in the sun. That sounded more Jamaican.
It's okay, either way.
A man who says that he fled an Austrian prison 10 years ago has apparently turned himself in. He's been living in Spain's Canary Islands. The 64-year-old, said police, was carrying 2 suitcases when he showed up at the Salzburg's railway station Saturday night and told them that he was a fugitive prisoner who had just arrived from Munich airport. In a statement Monday, officers said that he spent the last 10 years on a popular vacation island and wanted to return home.
Well. Well.
I mean, look. At that point, police should just be like, you know what?
Come on in.
Dude, go back. You don't need to be here.
Oh, come on in. It's never, you know what? You can go home again if home is prison.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what the theme was. That guy was afraid to leave prison because that's all he knew.
Right.
But he spent 10 years on a vacation island. How do you go? Oh.
Wait a minute. This is starting to sound like the next chapter of the Shawshank Redemption.
The Shawshank Vacation.
Because didn't he? Wait a minute.
National Lampoon's Shawshank Vacation.
I just miss my friend, Andy Dufresne.
This is a roller coaster of a headline. I'm going to hit you in the head. Woman named Miracle Crimes tells Springfield cop before allegedly kicking him in the groin.
Doesn't seem nice.
It started with a tray of donuts. On May 30th, Miracle Crimes allegedly hurled the tray at the assistant manager of a gas station in Berkshire Avenue after being told to leave. When the police arrived, she resisted arrest, threatened to kill the officer before being tased and transported to police HQ. Once there, she kicked the officer in the groin, renewed her threats. I'm going to kill you. So call your kids and tell them goodbye, she said.
Wow, that's harsh.
Crimes 31 was booked on 6 charges, including 2 counts of threat to commit crime, assault and battery on a police officer, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Wow.
That dangerous weapon? A donut tray.
You know what would have been really funny, though, is if the policeman had been a eunuch.
It'd be like kick all day. I don't care.
Kick me.
Bill to end hair discrimination in the workplace passes state senate.
Okay.
Out in California, because of course.
Yeah.
A bill to end discrimination of hair grooming rules passed for workplaces and schools on the Senate floor just yesterday on Monday. The bill, named SB 188, aims to, quote, create a respectful and open workplace for natural hair and end discrimination against hairstyles like braids, locks, and twists in the workplace and in K through 12 and charter schools. There are currently federal anti-discrimination laws that explicitly defend the choice to wear an afro hairstyle.
I'd wear an afro if I could.
I would too, man.
I like them.
Shops in Japan are now selling cans of old air. With just days until Japan ushers in a new era with the crowning of a new emperor, one entrepreneurial company is cashing in by selling cans containing the air of the outgoing era. $10 a can. The can filled with, quote, the air of Heisei, the 30-year reign of current Emperor Akihito, hit the shelves on Monday at the ambitious price of 1,080 yen, or $9.60, with producers hoping to sell as many as 1,000 units. Air is free of charge, but we hope people will enjoy breathing the fresh air of Heisei after the new era comes, or just keep it as a memento, said the company president Minoru Inamoto. Those are your 5 headlines.
Okay, how much is a pet
Let's
rock?
go ahead and refresh here.
By the way, a pet rock is worth between $5 and $15.
Just so you know.
Yes.
It's a little bit more sometimes than a can of air.
Just saying. If it wasn't for the pet rock, I'd call BS on that story.
First headline is Amazon will now experiment with wheeled shoes in their warehouses. An Austrian prisoner escaped, but returned 10 years later to prison. I'm going to hit you over the head, said a woman named Miracle Crimes, who then kicked a cop in the dick.
If
California,
in fact he wasn't a eunuch, don't forget that.
California passes bill to end hair discrimination. Good job. Or Japan, they're selling cans of air for $10 a pop. Which one is the fake headline? That's up to you. But first, Brad Staggs.
Yeah, I'm actually the coffee this morning is oh, there it is. It's Ron's sexual chocolate. And it's so good. It makes you feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away.
With Lusty Jill Hole over here.
I know. By the way, what you didn't see happen this morning was Ron brought his dog in, Griffin.
Yeah.
And Griffin had his eye on Lusty.
Oh, really?
Didn't quite know what to think of Lusty.
Yeah.
Griffin stood there and stared at Lusty for a while, and
enraptured by her beauty, obviously.
Good thing Lusty is behind the couch, is all I can say. If you have not yet tried Ron's sexual chocolate or the Brandon Morse Monkey Bread Blend, did I get that right? I did. I put the words in the right order and everything. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Get you some today. It's AmericanPrideRoasters.com. All right, Jeff, behind the glass. Did you Did you decide which of those stories is fake?
The one with the wheels.
Amazon.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with the. You know what? I'm siding with my friend Jeff, the best guy in the world, and saying the Amazon wheel story is bogus.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You think?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and hit it. Y'all are wrong.
Damn it! What is it?
It is the wheeled story. I made it way too easy. My delivery was crap.
Aha! Aha!
Y'all got me.
See? I'm following Jeff around for the rest of the day. And even Rocky with an I got it right. Yes! Oh, wait until you hear what the Supreme Court's doing. Oh, and Game of Thrones. It's all coming up in your Daily Mojo.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Wow. Hey, guys, Ron Phillips from the Conservative Cartel. I want to tell you about a new weight loss product that's quickly becoming part of our MoJo 50 family. Okay, so it was launched by this Texas company who have taken the good stuff in olive oil and created a patented product that helps people control their appetite and lose weight. That's right. It's also a big help to keep the weight off. In a 6-year study of former contestants from The Biggest Loser, you remember that show? It showed that when you lose weight, your body actually thinks something bad has happened and it fights back by slowing your metabolism and boosting your appetite. Rid-U-Zone, that's R-I-D-U-Zone, contains a patented ingredient that has been shown to boost metabolism and reduce appetite while helping you burn fat. If you are struggling every day with cravings, try Rid-U-Zone. It makes it so much easier to control your appetite and not think about food all day. That's my problem. For a short time, we have a 30% off deal for our show. Just go to riduzone.com and enter code MATT. That's M-A-T-T. Again, that's riduzone.com, R-I-D-U-Z-O-N-E.com. Rid-U-Zone.
Hey, it's Adrian Slade. With fake news from news channels that were once even slightly trustworthy and a social media that's guiding you by the hand like a child, controlling what they call conversational health and filtering out stories that someone else deems credible to you, where do you go for unadulterated libertarian and conservative discussion? How about right here on the Adrian Slade Show? Destroying the lies and dismantling the narratives, one story at a time. Unfiltered conversations only on MoJo 50. Live free.
The Daily Mojo.
Aha! DMXDM. Only Ron is allowed crap delivery during the show.
I get what he's saying.
I see what he did there.
That's clever. That's clever. Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, Just Peachy. She had a typo in one of her tweets. She had to delete her tweet.
Press F in the chat.
Happens.
Press F in the chat.
Right.
She said, I had to delete it because I forgot how to spell 4 to 5 ignored me, we peeps, say Amazon is fake.
Wow.
God, the more they complain about being ignored, the more I just want to ignore them. Am I a dick?
No, the more I want to spank them.
Oh, I mean, that's cute. That's cute.
It's,
getting that spanky wanky.
Just happens to. 350 years ago, what may have caused a massacre started out as a dart in a boy's eye.
A dart in a boy's eye?
A dart in a boy's eye. Archaeologists have uncovered a 350-year-old...
beginning.
It really is. 350-year-old massacre in Alaska that occurred during a war may have been started over a dart game. The discovery reveals the gruesome ways the people in the town were executed and confirms part of a legend that has been passed down over the centuries by the Yupik people. A recent excavation in the town of Agagamut.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, it's beautiful this time of year.
Oh, yeah, amazing.
By the way, nowadays they cough it Nunalek. It's uncovered the remains of 28 people who died during the massacre and 60,000 well-preserved artifacts. Essentially, this town had an interconnected complex. It was designed to make defense easier. So there's this dart game. And it was the bow and arrow wars that apparently this war broke out. A series of conflicts in Alaska during the 17th century. According to the legend, a conflict started during a game of darts when one boy accidentally hit another in the eye with a dart. So the father of the boy who caught the dart in the eye knocked both eyes out of the kid who caused the injury. So you've got the one kid and the other kid. The father jumps in. Then a relative of the boy who had both of those eyes knocked out, he retaliates against the father. The conflicts escalated, and all the family members get into it. And boom, there you go. You've got this whole series of wars across Alaska and the Yukon.
Wow.
That is the, yeah. So, and I'm just thinking, man, it was tough back then. You had to be a tough mofo.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that like we take for granted today.
Right.
If it were just to I wonder how stupid I would be if the internet disappeared, because all the information I ever need is right at the tip of my fingers. You know, I just press a few buttons and quite literally pizza shows up at my door.
You should just be independently smart like me. I say this.
Oh.
In preparation of
that music.
Spoiler alert. By the way, the new theme of Game of Thrones, the new opening theme, is cool.
Yes,
they redid the animation, and did they redo it every year?
No, they don't. They redo it like based on where the show is going to take place.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it does change up.
But the different locations.
But it's not necessarily like every season. Like sometimes it'll change up right in the middle of the season just because they move on to a different location.
Well, this is a totally new theme, at least the visual part. But
yeah.
So if you have not yet seen the latest episode of Game of Thrones, or you don't care, I would tune out if I were you, because we're going to do a little update.
By the way, I just want to say that I feel a little guilty doing this without Ron.
You know, Ron can add his 2 cents worth.
I will gladly talk about it again tomorrow.
And by the way, Handicap Jeff came in here and said, by the way, you can call me Handicap Jeff.
Handicap Jeff?
Yeah. I mean, look at him. Look at his face. That face right there, that's a handicap.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
don't let him
just say.
Hey, no, Jeff, don't you listen to him. You are beautiful. You look at that.
Don't
look at that
lie
face,
to him. Don't lie to him. Don't lie to him.
He's got that full beard.
Yeah, right.
You don't have one.
No.
Okay.
At least not that you can see. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
No?
Well, because I can't work the remote control because I'm handicapped.
Right.
I don't even know how to turn on the TV.
See.
You guys are lucky you're still in the air.
Just saying. So the second episode of the 8th and final season. I never thought, first of all, a year ago that I would be a Game of Thrones fan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's more than a year ago, but it's just it's a compelling show.
Yeah.
And it is like one of the most popular shows in the world.
Yeah.
And for those of you naysayers on Twitter, eat my shorts.
Eat my shorts.
That's all I got to say. So I thought this was a good episode. This obviously was this is the continued setup of the coming war with the
final showdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means and there's 6 episodes in this season, right?
No, 7. So we have
5 left.
5 more, and each of them are now going to be an hour and a half long.
All right.
And to be honest with you, I have not been this pumped for something in a long time. I'm more pumped for this than I am for Endgame.
For the
new Avengers movie,
which by the way, some of the jackholes want to go see when they're here and wanted to see if we'd go with them. So
yeah, I've already got my tickets at Alamo Drafthouse.
See, he just doesn't want to be seen with you in public, but that's okay.
That's kind of what it boils
all right.
down
So
to.
what was your most compelling scene of this episode of Game of Thrones?
I actually had a few where I just really thought that, man, they are like they set up. And all of the wrapping up that they did for plot lines, for instance, I really liked the interaction between the Hound and Arya, where Arya was like, when have you ever fought for anyone but yourself? And he goes, I fought for you.
It's true.
And he 100% did. And while that one phrase wasn't a lot, I really thought that it really brought to close their relationship, where Arya is made to understand that the Hound really is, and you are too, really made to understand that the Hound is a good guy, despite the fact that he's so rough around the edges.
Right.
He's like South Park. And,
yeah. That's true. That's
a
good one.
That to me was a really amazing moment that really kind of brought their relationship to a close. not to a close necessarily, but to like, it really rounded it out.
Yeah,
it wasn't left open.
There's a lot of, you've got all of these people who in the past may have had some conflict between them, and now they're all united against a common enemy, and none of them really think they're going to get, I mean, the odds are stacked against them. You got this whole army of uncounted dead people.
Right.
How do you kill the dead? And they're all coming up against an insurmountable foe. This is a microcosm of the United States.
Yeah.
This is and it's always what I've said, we need the attack from Mars or Yellowstone to erupt. That's what the Nightwalkers are to the people of Westeros.
Right.
Westeros, yeah.
It is the Nazis.
Yes, it
like
is.
uniting the United States under one banner.
Exactly.
And because nothing unites people like war.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
And I mean, like, that's why even today, like, Democrats are still trying to go for that. Every time they have an agenda point that they really want to push, it's like it's always the moral equivalent of war. Like look at all the language that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez uses whenever she talks about climate change.
Yeah,
she always talks in war terms.
Yes, she does,
and that's because we have not seen a togetherness since the 1940s during World War II.
Well, and she, or rather they, the people who are gathered at Winterfell, they're all waiting for the army of the dead to come marching in, and they're close. I mean, they're right there.
They're at the door.
So they're at the door. So my question is, the next 5 episodes then are going to be the next 5 hour-and-a-half long, essentially feature-length films are about the war.
Correct, and also like what happens after the war, because we not only do we have to defeat the Night King,
right?
We have to find out who sits on the Iron Throne. Because obviously Daenerys isn't going to let it just sit there. She's not going to let Cersei have it. And so Cersei is already making plans to go to war because she's going to let the Night King take out everyone, or whatever, vice versa. She's banking on the fact that the living are going to win, and whenever the living win, whoever is left over, Cersei can just run over.
Well, and there's some theories running around out there that the dead are going to win, that it's not going to be the living who win the war.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's a very distinct possibility.
That would be such a downer for the whole series to end on the dead winning.
Well, there was I don't know if anybody watches Game Theory on YouTube or Film Theory.
No,
but Matt Pat, he made an amazing video where he said, he's like, I cannot predict who is going to win, but I can tell you who should. And who should win is the Night King.
Why?
He said because humans, despite the fact that this literal end of the world scenario has been descending upon them this entire time.
Right.
They're still backstabbing. They're still feuding over petty things.
That's true.
They're still acting like ridiculous people.
That's true.
And it's true. It's true. And he's like, I mean, obviously he was way more detailed. I definitely recommend you go to Film Theory and watch this because he actually makes a very good point.
That does make sense. They've got petty differences that they keep focusing on when they have an imminent threat that is capable of taking them all out.
Right.
With very little effort. The fact that they have a dragon and giants.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a biggie right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's a biggie. Now, I did think it was interesting that Arya, the other thing she wanted to do was experience love. She wanted love.
And we got to see her naked, at least from the backy.
That's true.
And
I felt a little guilty.
I did too, actually.
I felt like I should look away.
Felt a little off. It's because Arya has always been the character to us that is like the girl who went wrong.
The kid.
Yeah, exactly. She's just a kid.
She's like the actress is like 20 something.
Yeah. I think she's actually turned 18 now.
Oh, good.
In the show, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think in the show even that she's in her late teens. She has to be by now.
But we just basically because we feel like we just watched a kid get naked.
Yeah,
now we're just like,
It was really strange. I thought, boy, that was as awkward as puppet sex.
Yeah.
Is it if you Team America?
Team America World Police, man. That was
weird watching puppet sex. And in Avenue Q, I felt the same way about. I was like, ooh, that was really awkward seeing that.
The internet is for porn.
Yeah. It was just it made sense.
Yeah.
I mean, for her to want to do that. And the most touching scene, I thought, and what a goober I am, because it was Brienne of Tarth. Is it Tarth or Tarth?
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, becoming the knight, and Jamie knighting her.
Yeah,
that was that got me, and I don't even know why it got me, but it got me.
Yeah, I liked that entire scene actually.
Oh, it was a great scene.
The people just kind of sitting around that fire, because like here it kind of reminded me of all coming together, like sitting around a fire and just chatting it up. And here you have people who came from all different journeys, all different stories, all different desires, all different wants, and here they are sitting around this fire at the end of the world, just talking to each other, having a good time. And for me, like that was a very, very grabbing scene.
And again, it's when you have a common enemy. When you have a common enemy, it is amazing how you do rally your own troops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your own peeps around a common cause.
And I love that. I think it was just a really touching scene, the Brienne scene. I also really loved Sansa and oh God, why can't I remember his name? Theon.
Yes.
That really brought something to a close for me, because Theon had done everything in his power to really damage the Starks, despite the fact that they took him in. And he has done everything in his power to restore them. And finally, we see him welcomed back into their fold as a brother, like where he really truly belonged the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh, so good.
I've been seeing articles now about whether or not Game of Thrones has been more politically influential than Star Wars.
I can believe that.
It's I think Game of Thrones will go down as because Star Wars had a very a huge cultural impact on society.
Yeah.
And I think Game of Thrones will be the same way.
I do too. I think it's going to have a lasting effect. I really do.
Which again, I would never have guessed that I would be, and there are people that I know that I would never have guessed would have been Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah.
That have turned out just by watching the show. It's a very political show.
It is, while it maintains, 'cause this is what Star Wars did so well. It was a galaxy far, far away, and it stayed there up until the recent sequels.
Right.
And now here it is, like with Game of Thrones, it's a far, far away thing. And there is political overtones to it. However, it keeps away from
politics,
which I really love.
Yes, it keeps us but it shows that life, especially in that universe, still all about politics and how you play the game.
Well, yeah, and I love it. I like the real world stuff that like the lessons that you take from it. And one of my favorites is, look, no matter if you're a super good guy or a super bad guy, the world is a crazy, chaotic place. It's not fair.
Nope.
Things do not end well because you did the right thing.
No.
You know?
No, that's true.
In fact, look at Ned Stark, the most honorable guy. He was one of the first people to die off. Like one of the first major characters to die off. And he was the most perfect character that there was. It's the guy who's not supposed to die, the guy who's supposed to win in the end.
It's like honorable people going to Washington. They don't last very long.
What I'm trying to say is, Dan Crenshaw, guard your ass.
See? Imagine if either side had guns.
Yeah.
In Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
If either side, one gun, one semi-automatic gun, could change the entire outcome of the war.
You know, what they should have done, Brad, is go to traguns.com.
Right. You know, if any of them had simply gone online before the Night King's army had gotten there and ordered a gun from TRA Guns and had it delivered. I mean, obviously they're not going to be able to have anything delivered now because the army's there.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to get to unless, of course, it's a drone.
Yeah.
A drone could get through.
Yeah.
But maybe the Sig Sauer Sig MCX Rattler.
Oh, yeah.
The 300 AAC Blackhawk with Blackout with tail hook.
Yeah.
I mean, just showing them that gun, that would stave off the entire army. That would get them to shake in their boots. Or perhaps the Brugger and Tomet. I don't know how to say that. It's a B&T. So I'll just call it the B&T GHM-9 Gen 2 9mm pistol. Again, just the look of it would really make them shake.
Yeah.
You go to traguns.com, you'll be able to see 3D views. 360-degree views is more like it. You can spin the whole thing around. You can see it from the back side, from the front side, from every which way you want to see it. You'll even see if there are still fibers left from the cleaning cloth on the gun.
That detailed.
Yes, it really is amazing. Go to traguns.com and find out if they have the perfect weapon for you, no matter what you are looking for. Supreme Court, speaking of politics, see the things they're arguing today?
No, tell me.
Food stamps, first of all, whether food stamp payments should be public record.
I think, yeah.
Yesterday, they wrestled with whether government spending records from the nation's largest food safety net program are records that Congress intended to be released under a key federal transparency law. Why would that even be an argument? I mean, you get federal money being spent. You got our money being spent on something. Why shouldn't we be able to know where it went?
Yeah. To me, that already reeks of shade. Like there's something going on here that somebody doesn't want us to see.
Why do you not want us to see?
The fact alone that, like, look, there are certain things that I can understand that we shouldn't see our money going to, like certain military things.
Right.
You know, if we're working on a weapon or troop movements, anything like that, keep that from public knowledge. I don't want our enemies knowing that. However, when it comes to how like our entitlement money is being spent, yes, that's not even a question. How is this? Why do we need a court order for this?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
We should actually, like, seriously, I want every single cent accounted for. You know, I don't care if they're spending money on getting food to the homeless or if they're trying to buy a plunger. I want every single thing logged and put on display where I can see it.
Which, by the way, the plunger, not a good Mother's Day gift.
Not a good Mother's Day gift. Don't do that.
No, when I look past you and I look at the video wall behind your head, the Brandon Morse on Twitter, I see the federal deficit over $25 trillion. And again, not including the unpaid liabilities.
Yeah.
Of Social Security, Medicaid.
Yeah.
Medicare, all of that. How are we? I mean, we've got no money. How are we even spending this money to begin with? Just saying. There's that little thing. I mean, next time your checking account balance is zero or is overdrawn, just take a page from the federal government. Write a check anyway.
Yeah.
The argument, they were hearing those arguments yesterday. Today, they are set to hear the argument about the 2020 census and the citizenship question. This is here's a little interchange between, this is Secretary, Commerce Secretary Ross and Mr. Clay up in, well, just listen here.
Secretary, you wrote to the committee a few months ago that the reason you did not mention all your
he just went away. It's buffering.
Efforts to add a citizenship question before DOJ's letter was because these efforts were merely, and I quote, informal and hypothetical discussions. With all due respect, that explanation does not pass the laughed test.
Well, that is the fact, sir. I'm sorry that you're dissatisfied with it.
Well, you testified 3 times, and each time you withheld critical information that Congress needed to oversee preparations for the 2020 census. Mr. Secretary, will you take responsibility today for misleading Congress, whether intentionally or not, about the process you followed to add the citizenship question to the 2020 census?
I have never intentionally misled Congress or intentionally said anything incorrect under oath.
I got to say, and I...
First, can I just interject real fast?
Please do.
It's just like, Is it just me, or did he sound like Bill Cosby there?
Yes, he did it.
For a second, did you intentionally mislead the people?
The pills and the
pudding and the Jello pop.
People.
Did you?
And Wilbur Ross, I know nothing about the Commerce Secretary, Wilbur Ross, but you feel bad for this little old man sitting down there at the table. And the way all of these hearings are always set up is you've got the Oversight Committee in Congress sitting up in it's like the Senate in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the seats on high and then the little subject way down here. Yes. I mean, it's intentionally set up that way.
For sure.
So that you feel smaller than the rest of them.
I really think that they should reverse that.
Yes, absolutely.
I really think they should reverse that. Anytime Congress has a hearing or something like that, I understand the need for stadium seating for people behind, like the congressional members who can look over. But seriously, why are you putting them way down there? Yeah, it is.
All about intimidation.
And what they should have is, like, if they bring a citizen in, the citizen needs to be on a higher dais.
Because they work for us.
Exactly. They're elected officials, and I feel like they forget that.
But the whole point of this being the question that they want to put on the census, the 2020 census, asking whether or not the respondent or the people in the household responding to the census are citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Democrats don't want you to have to answer that question, and the Republicans do. I mean, it's right down party lines for the most part. Why wouldn't you, in a census of the people of your country, want to know who are citizens and who aren't citizens?
Yeah.
What is the possible motivation behind not wanting them to have to answer that question?
Exactly.
Why? I mean, the Democrats want to be able to just simply use the numbers
to
redraw congressional districts.
Yeah.
To gain more representation in Congress.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's painfully obvious what they want to do and why they don't want this question on the census.
Oh, for sure.
It's completely dishonest. I mean, it goes beyond, and the way the Supreme Court, and they're just hearing arguments today. It'll be weeks, months before I guess we get a ruling on it.
Mm-hmm.
It will be fascinating to see what the Supreme Court says about this. I mean, I guess the Constitution says little about just a census will be taken every 10 years. I don't know how in depth the Constitution goes to what the census should be comprised of, other than counting I would think it says counting the citizens.
Yeah.
Counting the citizens of the country.
And accurately.
Right.
For that matter.
Right.
You know, I don't think that, I think that I think it's California or something like that. No, both California and New York, where there are certain districts, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they consider them quite literally their constituency.
Right.
As in, to give you guys a definition of what constituency means, just so we're clear, it means a public capable of voting in an election for their specific, or just, for their political leader. Now, an illegal immigrant is not a constituency, period. It cannot be, by law.
I wouldn't think so.
But you have people who are out there going, like AOC and Nancy Pelosi and various other politicians in like these sanctuary cities and districts and stuff like that are like, oh well, they count, and so they throw them in,
right?
As citizens. And not only that, it helps them with their federal funding, because the more people they have, the more money they get.
Exactly. Oh, I understand why they want to have these people counted.
Right.
It's understandable why they want the illegal aliens counted. The federal courts blocked the Commerce Department from adding the citizenship question. The courts ruled that Secretary Wilbur Ross violated federal law in the way he went about trying to include the question for the first time since 1950.
Mm-hmm.
They found that millions of Hispanics who tend to vote for Democrats and immigrants would go uncounted.
Mm-hmm.
The lower court, what they're saying is that if they have to answer whether or not that they're a citizen, that they won't fill out the census.
Yeah.
If you require them to answer whether or not they are a citizen, they won't.
They will say, totally. It's like the same thing. Like the kid who's like goes to the porn sites, like, are you sure you're over 18? The kid's going to be like, yeah, I'm totally 18.
Two of the three judges also ruled this in the federal court that asking if people are citizens would violate the provision of the Constitution that calls for a count of the population regardless of citizenship status every 10 years. Okay, first of all, regardless of citizenship status.
Yeah.
You can't be a part of the let's see. Man, you have to start thinking like a lawyer with this stuff.
They're going to throw everything. How do I say this? If you have the capability to get more money for yourself, or let's say you're a politician for your district, would you or would you not do it? Because that money could be used for all sorts of great things. Not only just infrastructure, like new buildings or things to improve the quality of your district, but also maybe you can, if you get enough money, maybe give yourself a raise.
Right.
Because look at all this work you're doing, all these people that you're taking care of, all this job and business that you're doing. Man, it sure would be nice if I had more money to be able to relax on.
It's stunning to me that they try to make the argument that this is about the people.
Mm-hmm.
This is about money. This is about power. That's all this is about.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you count illegal aliens is about the power and the money of the politicians and the money that they can get to spend as they see fit because you're too stupid to spend the money yourself.
Yeah.
That's all that's what it boils down to. And anybody who tries to make the argument that it's about the people, that the government cares about the people, and they want to make sure that people are taking horse crap.
No.
It is never, the government does not.
Ever.
Short of they want to make sure that your fingers stay nimble so you can write the check.
Exactly.
That's the only thing that they are concerned with. So we'll see how things go with the Supreme Court today. Should be an interesting day. Your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The FBI is among investigative agencies looking into a claim that ISIS was behind the deadly Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka. The BBC's Saranjit Lyle in Colombo says there are reports that warnings of an impending attack were ignored.
People asking exactly what the government knew. When did they know? Because according to foreign intelligence, they had actually informed the Sri Lankan security services that an attack on the scale was about to take place.
Funerals have begun for some of the 321 victims. Suicide bombers targeted a half dozen locations, including churches and upscale hotels. President Trump has been giving his itchy Twitter finger a workout this morning.
In a string of early morning tweets that began before 6 a.m., the president sounds off on radical left Democrats, saying they and the fake news media have gone totally insane. He criticizes the New York Times, CNN, and MSNBC, while calling Fox and Friends by far the best morning political TV show. And the president complains that Twitter discriminates against Republicans and that he should be immune from criticism because of the greatest economy in history. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The president will pay a state visit to Britain in June. Buckingham Palace says Mr. Trump will visit as a guest of the Queen. A fight over the 2020 census goes before the Supreme Court today. The Trump administration's plan to include a citizenship question in next year's head count is being challenged. The justices will hear arguments pro and con. The Fed's expanding an investigation into malfunctioning airbag controls to include 12.3 million more vehicles. The bags may not inflate in a crash. The problem could be responsible for as many as 8 deaths. Stock futures higher this morning on Wall Street. Dow futures up 45 points. S&P futures 2 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075.
800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. And if you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches. The mothership has landed.
The Twitterverse is such a, I was going to say sewer, but I'm not going there. I'm going to say it's a diverse, ecosystem.
Yeah.
Of opinions and people and things and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there.
Some of these opinions are very freaking wrong. Let me tell you.
You see, what you have to do is not let them get to you. You just
no, you know what? It's not that they get to me. It's that some of these people ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah, you can't give them that kind of power. Takaru says if the census cannot be limited to citizens only, then it's invalid for the purpose of determining representation, and another method must be developed that's actually reliable.
Yeah.
And see, the problem, Takaru, is you are applying logic and common sense to this argument, which has absolutely no place in American politics.
Takaru is, look, Takaru, for everything he just said right now, should be 100% logic.
Yes.
However, logic does not apply in the case of people who will literally sell their grandmother down to the first bidder for $1.
Yes.
Okay? Who do not care about you. They don't care about you. What they care about is self-image and getting money.
Yes.
If the government really worked the way that it was intended to work in the first place, I'm 100% positive that we would be cruising around the stars right now because of business, technological advancements. Cancer would probably be a thing of the past. All right, we would probably have all sorts of great environmentally friendly energy sources.
Yes.
However, because these people do not understand how nature works.
Oh, I think they have a good understanding. I think they know exactly. Politicians have a way of tweaking reality to suit their own interests, their own self-interests.
Yeah.
What we do have as a commonality between all of us. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you come down on. It really doesn't matter what your political opinion is. Food, and not just food, but good food. And I hear Ryan chuckling in the background. Ryan Spong is the founder and CEO of Foodie. Ryan, first of all, welcome to the program. And secondly, tell us about Foodie.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. I didn't quite know how you were going to segue over to me there, Brad. That was eloquent. Food unites us. I love that.
Yes, it does.
Welcome.
Does.
Thanks. Thanks very much for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. So tell us about what is Foodie?
Great. So Foodie is a platform that basically connects if you've ever had catering brought in from a corporate caterer, you've probably had I call it the tyranny of chicken pesto everything. These big sort of platters of stale bread and all these kind of crappy sandwiches and stuff. I did it for about 10 years when I worked in corporate offices, and anyway, I thought things could be a little bit better. So what Foodie does is it's a platform that connects offices and big groups of people to all the best restaurants in the city. So you can actually order what you want. You get it individually packaged, shows up with your name on it and all that, and it's that exact thing that you wanted from the city that you live in. I was just in New York last week, and every time I get to New York, I have to make my sort of like pilgrimage to Katz's Deli.
Right.
And now when I'm there and I'm having an office lunch, boom, I can get my pastrami sandwich on a Hero.
Nice. Now, I remember years ago working at the Nashville Network, we worked for a guy who, great businessman, and he wanted to keep the entire crew on the lot while we were shooting the shows, so he would provide a catered lunch. Being a good businessman, he also pretty much went for the lowest bid on catering. So when you mentioned the chicken pesto everything, it was like last week's chicken pesto repackaged this week. So I am always fondly remembering those lunches. And I love Alan, but boy, those lunches. Of course, I was young then, so I realized, man, this is a free lunch. Man, I'm not going to complain. As I've gotten older, the palate has changed. But food is one of those things that, and in a corporate environment, in a business environment, you can really bring the team together with food, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think your example is a great one. Like some of our clients, they're wanting to keep people cranking away on some projects. So if they're in tax season, or if they're on a gaming, sprint or something, where they're trying to get a game out the door or a movie or something like that. It's a great example. You've got folks that are like, all right, listen, we need to work through lunch, or we need to work through overtime dinner or whatever. And so that's one kind of use case. And the other, as you mentioned, I think what we're seeing in really innovative companies is this desire to kind of bring the entire team together, to have different groups kind of interacting, this kind of cross-functional teamwork piece. And that goes to great culture. And today there's, especially in urban centers, there's a real war for talent, and so to the extent that you can have a great team culture in that office, you're going to be able to attract and retain folks a lot better, than you would if you're kind of sequestered off in your corners.
And Foodie has worked with some of the biggies, the Amazons, the Facebooks, the Microsofts, the Visa, Comcast, Weather Channel. You work with these companies to help create a better working environment, bringing teams together. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, those are some of the big names who serve everybody in kind of like professional services like banks and right down the middle kind of corporate. And then a lot of tech companies, these are folks that are innovative, products that they're putting out, but they also have sort of innovative thinking around corporate culture and what's needed. And yeah, I sometimes call it, everybody knows kind of these stories about the Google campus having these incredible chefs and whatnot, and all these stations that you can go to. Well, the regular company, across America can't exactly afford to bring in these fancy chefs. And so, sometimes what we call it is kind of Google cafeteria on demand, right? That's kind of our product.
Well, and it can go either way. I mean, if a company shouldn't hear this and think, I just like Alan did, bring in the cheapest caterer he could find, because it can actually backfire on you if you don't do it right. I mean, it's while I have fond memories of that time of my life, I do remember the lunches. So when you, as a company, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about doing this, you really have to pay attention to quality, and obviously the quality of the meal.
Yeah, and to your point, it can backfire. What happens is, if you bring in these kind of big trays of food and you call them platters or family style or what have you, is that some folks just don't go for it. right? Like you said, your tastes change. Certain parts of the company maybe are like, hey, I'm over this, sharing my spoon part of my life or whatever. And so the food just doesn't get eaten. So one, it's wasteful, and companies hate having to deal with throwing all the scrap out. But then it's also expensive, right? You're not getting the bang for your buck. So one of the things our software allows you to do is we put the power in the hands of the EA or the office admin. And so, it's a few clicks of the button there. They can put the ordering decision in the hands of the eater. And so if you're there that day, you get to order exactly what you want, and our software is going to coordinate that in sort of bulk orders to all the different restaurants that are up that day. And if you're not there, if you're sick, you feel like going out, outside or whatever, you don't order. And so there's no waste, and the company's really getting a lot of bang for its buck.
And by the way, I heard a slight northern accent there when you said outside. You're based in. Let's go outside. So you're based in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
in
right.
Canada?
I try and mask my. Oh yeah.
How
yeah,
about that?
Yeah. I lived in New York for many years, and I never quite got rid of my my northern twang, but I used to take a lot of crap for it.
But the foodie.
Yeah, we're based up.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, we're based up here in Vancouver. We started here. Like I said, I lived in the States for many years. I'm back here. I've got family here, and now my own family here. The company's sort of split in terms of employees and investors, about 50-50 between the U.S. and Canada.
Okay, and it's fascinating because now, given the interweb of things and the and software and computers, it really has changed the corporate landscape when it comes to things like food. I mean, this is not something you could do 20, 30 years ago. It's just not. It's a different environment. You've taken advantage of the way things are today and molded a business model that works. Because there will always be food, and people who I've always said people who can fix things will always have a job, and especially if you can make or facilitate people eating, you will always have a job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know that when I kind of got into restaurants, but I talked a little bit about living in a corporate environment, but about half my career has been in restaurants. I put myself through college as a waiter. And then years later, I came back to it and actually own some restaurants up here. And one of the things that we do for restaurant owners, and this is like a problem that I was feeling myself, is that restaurants are really expensive to build. There's a big investment in the kitchen. I mean, just a regular restaurant can be $300, $400, $500 grand. And what happens at lunch hour is you have this kind of bursty demand. Like you've seen them; they're dead empty at 11:45 lunch. The place is full, and at 1:15 it's dead again.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got these long 8-hour shifts with your employees, but you've got an hour of money coming in. So what Foodie does is pre-book these big corporate orders for these restaurants that typically start getting made around 10 o'clock because we got to pick them up at 11, get them to where they need to go, set them up. And so now you've got this extra complete, corporate lunch rush before you even open the doors for your consumer rush. And in some cases, these restaurants are getting, twice as much business as they did before we came along. So I think that has really been the thing that we're probably proudest of at Foodie is helping the local owner operated restaurant. We don't really partner with any chains at all, but putting more money in their pocket and making the business a viable business in a way that it wasn't before. And I think we probably all know that stat about 1 in 5 restaurants make it past the first 5 years.
Right. Yeah, and restaurant business is tough. I mean, it's not only is it tough to succeed, but it's also tough on relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a few restaurant owner friends, and they definitely said it's one of the most stressful things you'll ever do. Which I always kind of I found that weird when I first heard that,
because I thought 27 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so weird that an industry that involves literally making people happy and something that we have to do every single day would be this difficult to do.
See, it's kind of like radio.
A little bit.
A little bit. So Ryan, how do people find out more about Foodie? Where are you on the web?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple places they can find us. www.food.ee is certainly the website to go to, and you can see what we do there. Sign up for an account is where you really get the magic if you're an office admin or an EA. And you can follow us on Twitter at Foodie, which is actually FOODEE.
Alrighty.
And Instagram is Foodie Inc.
Foodie Inc. All right. We will tweet out a link to that, and we appreciate you being on the program this morning.
Man.
Thank you, gents. Take care.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And that conversation apparently made some of our listeners hungry.
You know, food will do that.
Yeah.
Food is the universal peace sign.
Agreed.
If it's good food. If it's crappy food, people just get pissed off.
Exactly.
They will just get you offering me that biscuit. I don't think so.
I think that's one of the reasons why having a restaurant. So because people, like, whenever they eat, they want to eat. You know, the hanger is real.
Yes.
And if you mess up while they're hangry, or if you mess up when they're expecting food and they get hangry, it's your ass.
Yes, it is.
You know,
you do not want to. You don't want to mess with people who are hangry, especially. So we'll tweet out a link. Let's see. Right now, there's a just tweeted out a link to Foodie's website. You know, if you have maybe perhaps too close a relationship with food and you've overdone it, good, bad, indifferent, there's a way that you can reverse the ill effects. And there's just no other way. Look, if you're fat, you want to lose some fat. That's the problem with food. Is I love food.
I really do too.
I love food. I eat when I'm depressed. I eat when I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really wish that I was like a depressed not eater.
Yeah, I am like that, actually. I am like that.
You don't you don't eat when you're depressed?
No, I actually tend to whenever I get depressed or really angry or something like that, the thing I need to do most is move.
Right. Well, yes.
Like, because I find comfort in movement. Like, I'll get in my car or I'll start going for a walk or something like that and walk it off. But I've never like the moment I get super stressed or angry, my need to eat just shuts off.
I'm the opposite. I will eat. Let's see. If I'm down, I'll eat. If I'm elated, I'll eat.
Mm-hmm.
No, pretty much anything. I'll eat. I'll eat. It doesn't matter if I'm happy, sad, or any other emotion. I'll eat.
Yeah.
But if you would like to, if you are embarking on your weight loss journey, if you'd like a little something extra, because you know as well as I do, it ain't easy. You got a lot of bad habits to break. You gotta get out there and exercise more. You gotta cut down on the caloric intake, and that's where RidUZone comes in. If you go to RidUZone.com, you'll learn about OEA, the little bitty molecule, little teeny little molecule.
The teeniest little molecule.
It's like a flea circus. Little flea circus.
Little flea circus.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my Irish OEA molecule
For some odd reason, all of my
I know, right?
all of that is Irish.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's the corned beef and cabbage thing.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, so you can drink the 12 pints or 12 liters of olive oil that you would need to drink to get the benefits of OEA that comes in one little bottle of RidUZone, or you can get the bottle of RidUZone. I recommend that. Go to RidUZone.com and find out how you can save some money on a 30% coupon right there. Automatically applied to a 3-bottle promotion. RidUZone.com. You feel a rant in you?
I could go on a rant or 8. I'm a little worked up today, Brad. A little worked up.
Just let it all out. Let it all hang out. just free it up. Free your mind.
Okay.
And your ass will follow.
Free your mind. Somebody isolate that audio.
That's what they say. That's the song.
Free your mind and the ass will follow. And your ass will follow.
Thank you. Be colorblind.
So last night, CNN decided that they were going to host a ton of Democrats for a town hall.
Yay.
I'm going to skip the entire thing where I'm just like, would they do that for a Republican? The answer is probably no.
No.
And even if they did, it would be an ambush interview.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? CNN, as we all know, despite the fact that despite the fact that they like to, talk about how they're the most trusted name in news.
This is CNN.
This is an Apple. This nonsense. They are an insanely leftist network. The things that not only just like the kind of reporting that they do as leftist, the kind of like business they do as leftist.
Yes.
All right. All right, they will literally kneel to dictators in foreign lands so that they can have a network out. I'm sorry, that's just nasty. I hate that crap. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The point is, they asked the Democrats these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I got to tell you, Brad, all the Democrats had to say was nothing. Throughout their entire campaigns, they literally could have just sat back, agreed with moderate positions from time to time, and they probably all would have had a really good chance of winning. All right? Joe Biden especially. Joe Biden continuously polled above Trump. But all that's changed now. Now, I'm not upset. I'm not upset about that. I'm glad Trump's going to win. And mark my words right now, Trump is going to win. He's getting reelected. There's no possible way out of this, especially at this point. I mean, his economy's too good. And if you actually follow elections, if the economy is really great under said president,
right,
then chances are you're getting reelected.
But remember, as our friend whose name I cannot remember, Caleb, what Caleb Parker said, when Trump was elected, he broke all of the rules, destroyed all of the political models from the past.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you still have to be careful, because even if things are going just hunky-dory in the economy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have to be careful now about applying old rules to the current political situation.
Yeah, no, you are 100% accurate on that. And I mean, I agree with you. I think that one little slip, Republicans are notorious for seizing defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yep.
But here's the thing that really just... First off, they basically just straight up admitted, especially Kamala Harris, straight up admitted that they want to take our guns from us.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep.
And it's not just her. Eric Swalwell and his, hey, somebody debate me from the NRA. Dana Lash is like, okay, I'll do it. And Eric Swalwell's like, no.
Right. Oh, she would eat his lunch.
Want Oliver, well, so would Oliver North.
Yes.
But he knows that Oliver North's not going to waste time on him. But I'm digressing again. But, first off, they completely admitted they want to take your guns. Okay? They want to give felons the vote. Now, here's my thought on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are many felonies out there that shouldn't be felonies.
Right.
I think that nonviolent drug offenses, if you're in prison for one of those right now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, we let you down as a society. We should not be doing that. All right, you should be getting help in some way, shape, or form, not put in jail to rot.
Right.
But they're about it doesn't matter what they did, because if they paid their debt to society,
right, they should
be able to vote. Look,
absolutely.
There are some people out there who I think that if you refuse the rules of society, and you raped people, you murdered people, you continuously stole from people, then I'm sorry, I don't think you should get the vote. Why are they saying that? Why do they think they should get? Because they're just looking for another voting bloc.
Mm-hmm.
And God, all these people who would be able to vote if they got out of prison?
Oh, right, yeah. No, absolutely.
It's like the Democrats do not... This is like we talked about earlier. Some people just should not be voting. Some people should not be recognized. All right, the people who have literally committed murders and done the worst of the worst to people should lose their right to vote. If you don't live here, legally, you should not have the right to vote. Period.
Try going to France and voting in their election.
Seriously.
You wouldn't. Try going to Mexico and voting in their election.
Try going almost anywhere.
And voting in anybody else's election. They frown on that sort of thing.
They really do. But they don't care about the ramifications of what would happen to you. You or to the society or to our economy. They don't care. They pretty much just demonstrated that throughout the entirety of the CNN town hall. They don't care about you. They don't care about the stability of the United States of America. What they care about is getting into power. What they care about is getting their own money. And screw you. Screw you. I was just ranting about this in the MeWe chat. They quite literally, they don't give a crap about Christian persecution. They don't care about how much money you're bringing home at the end of the day from your job because they want to tax the hell out of you for it.
Oh, yeah, they do care. They just want to know how much they can get their fair share.
Exactly.
Or
quote unquote fair share.
Yeah, unfair share.
Yeah, what they call the fair share, which is another way of sweetening their language.
Yeah.
All right. They don't give a Nikes about you.
Nope.
And yet they still get elected to office. It drives me absolutely crazy that this nation has literally bought into this left and right nonsense. This war. Like, quite literally, I have asked people, look, you're being led by the nose, and I'll map it out for them. Here's how you're being fooled.
Mm-hmm.
And this is okay with you. And I have had people quite literally tell me, yes, because screw you.
It's easier. It's easier to have somebody just tell you where to go, what to do.
But then the problem here is that, and maybe this is just the crazy libertarian in me, but they quite literally cede their rights, their money.
Mm-hmm.
They are basically asking for enslavement, to be put in chains, figuratively or even freaking literally, whatever, in order to own you.
Comfort in their imprisonment.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's scary. It's scary, the number of people, you're right, that are willing to submit to that sort of governance.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, am not one of them.
Yeah, no one should be.
Are you feeling a little bit better? Just a little bit?
I'm still mad.
Not as cathartic as you thought it'd be. That's what the Daily Mojo is all about. Stuff.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
Raise your hand if you've heard this before. Social Security will run out of money if nothing changes. We got another reminder of that on Monday as the Social Security trustees released their latest report on the program. The report told us that Social Security will be insolvent in the year 2035 without major structural changes. That's just 16 years from now, and given how our politicians like to kick the can down the road, we've got only 3 more presidential elections for them to start taking this problem seriously. Right now, there are 67 million Americans receiving Social Security, and 47 million of those are retirees. As Reason.com points out, those who are 51 years old today will be hitting the age of collecting Social Security just as it's scheduled to run out of money. That means an entire group of people will have put full payments into the program and will see a 20% reduction in benefits as insolvency rules take effect, just as they would be eligible to take full benefits. Social Security won't be the only problem either, because prior to its insolvency, Congress probably will want to pay attention to Medicare Part A, which will go insolvent in just 7 years. That means hospital and nursing home coverage will be affected, to say nothing of should Bernie or any of the Dems win in 2020 and put even more people on the rolls of Medicare. Nibbling around the edges won't fix the problems anymore, and that's because we've gone from 5.1 workers paying into the system for every one person collecting benefits in 1960 to just 2.8 for every one in 2017. Add in the fact that the average person lived to just 61 when Social Security was introduced and now lives to 78 on average, and you see the problem at hand. But with politicians like AOC telling us the earth will end in 12 years' time, what urgency do politicians have to fix these problems, right? I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on all the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily Mojo.
The good news. The good news is that I think that many people actually agree with what we're saying, because if you actually look at CNN's ratings, despite the fact that they had on a ton of town halls and 2020, they had on people who figuratively could decide the fate of our nation.
Right.
Very few people are watching.
Yeah, there's no drama there anymore.
No, there's not.
The thing.
Ever since the Mueller report dropped and Trump was cleared of all charges, CNN had nothing to say.
No.
They have nothing. Nobody wants to watch anymore. The drama's gone, And so I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. This is from the Daily Caller. And this is also, I wrote about it up at redstate.com. So please, by all means, go check this out. Helps me out a lot. From April 8th through the 12th, the network only averaged an audience of 690,000 people and 180,000 in the key 25 to 54 age demographic. The coverage last week included 3 presidential town halls with New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Washington Governor Jay Inslee, and former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, who is an ass. Oh, I hate that guy. Gillibrand's town hall only had 507,000 viewers compared to that's surprising to me, by the way, compared to Inslee's 549,000 viewers, which also really surprised me. And then Castro had the most. It's only 654,000 viewers. Comparatively, last week, MSNBC's primetime lineup averaged 1,600,000 viewers. Gosh, I'm so stupid right now. 1,600,000 viewers with 249,000 in the key demo. Fox News, however, is growing.
Do you know who had more viewers?
Your mom.
Game of Thrones.
More people are concerned about how Game of Thrones is going to end than who's going to be elected president. I'm 100% sure of that. Yes. I don't have any numbers to back that up, but I'm 100% positive that's true.
Yep, absolutely true.
Fox News managed to beat CNN and MSNBC combined with a total viewership of 2,438,000 with 394,000 in the age range. This not only does not speak well for the network, for CNN, right? But I will say this, it also doesn't speak well for Democrats either. No one cares what they have to say. Nothing. They're so tired of it. Now, this could just be burnout. I mean, everybody and their dog is running for president on the Democratic side right now. So many people are just like, they're tired now. They're like, oh, I don't want to hear another one. I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. Okay. But I think that maybe, just maybe, the Democrats are so demoralized because they know for a fact that Trump's going to win again. I think they know that.
Don't get cocky.
I'm not, but I think that they have been 100% demoralized lately. I mean, look at these town halls. I mean, but also you have to understand the fact that a lot of these Democrats right now are radical. They're becoming more radical as they go. Mm-hmm. And many Democrat voters are like, no, remember, a third of the party was already saying that it is 100% willing to jump ship and go third party. They have already said that to someone like Howard Schultz, who actually is technically, in this day and age, considered a moderate.
Right.
All right. They were ready to jump on Joe Biden's train, but Joe Biden said all this crazy stuff, and now he's gone. I'm going to lose that $20 bet now, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Yes, you are. If that wasn't depressing enough, Social Security was going to, the cost of Social Security going to exceed its income in 2020 now.
Say what?
It's going to, Social Security is going to be paying out more than it's bringing in by next year, according to the trustees. Social Security. So if you're depending upon that in your retirement, or if you're depending upon any sort of government assistance in retirement, you should be very, very concerned. David Scranton is the CEO and founder of Sound Income Strategies. Money is, when it comes to retirement, that is the single most, obviously the single most important thing that people who are approaching retirement age can think about, whether or not they have enough of it to sustain their lifestyle into retirement. Mr. Scranton, thank you for being on the program. And tell us, first of all, about Sound Income Strategies.
Well, Sound Income Strategies is one of the few, if not the only, investment advisory firm that actually specializes in the active management of individual fixed income securities. So we don't use bond funds or take the lazy way out with exchange-traded funds or anything like that. We literally focus on the active management of individual fixed income securities. Why? Well, because the baby boomers need income. Pensions are gone. Social Security, as you just said, is about to flip and be underwater, essentially. So people need income. And it seems like in spite of that, most of the financial world is out there crossing their fingers and toes hoping to get growth, when really the patient needs income more than they need growth in many, many cases.
Right.
And that's what we do in a nutshell.
One of the headlines recently, White House advisor Larry Kudlow says Fed should immediately cut rates. For people who are who don't connect the dots between politics and the Fed and retirement and all that, what does this mean to the average investor? If in fact the Fed does cut rates?
Well, regardless of whether or not the Fed cuts rates, it means the average investor seeking to get income is going to have a tougher time than ever before, because the Fed had been trying to raise rates And they finally just waved the white flag over the last several months, realizing they simply cannot raise rates anymore. And, whether or not Kudlow's right that we should be decreasing rates right now or not is more of a question for economists. But the reality is that your average investor looking for income now is in a new generational cycle of permanent low interest rates, much like Japan has been in now for the last 20 plus years. And it just makes it more and more difficult, which is part of the reason that so many people are just still crossing their fingers and toes, drinking the Wall Street Kool-Aid, hoping to get growth, even though it's becoming a little tougher to come by over the last several months.
What's the number one mistake that you see baby boomers now who are rapidly the bulk are rapidly approaching retirement or are already in retirement? What's the single biggest investment mistake you see them making?
The single biggest mistake is not understanding that there are different stages of life. There's your accumulation stage and there's your distribution stage. And when they're within 10 years of retirement, they need to be transitioning from accumulation to distribution, or at least beginning that transition. And most don't do that. Most don't make a change in their approach or a change in the advisor for that matter. I mean, let's face it, people know that they outgrow doctors at certain ages. Right. They have a pediatrician when they're young, and then they have a primary care doctor as they get older, and maybe in their later years they have a gerontologist, for example. But they don't think about their financial advisors the same way, that some specialize in accumulation and some specialize in distribution. So the reality of it is, even though the road is turning to the left, they're still driving straight. And for some of them, it means they end up driving right off the cliff, because when the market turns, they went from having enough money to retire to all of a sudden no longer having enough money to stay retired.
And that's a big deal because, I mean, obviously prices on everything, including healthcare especially, are going up every year. And what will sustain you this year from an income standpoint, especially from an investment income standpoint, won't necessarily sustain you next year or the year after that. And that's what I would guess that's something that you help investors avoid.
Oh, exactly. And, people always underestimate the amount of income they need in retirement. All these formulas out there that say, well, you can retire around 70%. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's true if you figure out, okay, gee, I'm not going to be paying FICA tax when I retire. I'm not going to be putting money in a 401k. Maybe my mortgage is paid off. But that assumes that you take that 8 hours a day that you were going to work and you sit home on your hands and do absolutely nothing.
Right. Right.
People fail to realize that more time on your hands means you're going to be spending more money somehow, some way.
Right.
And oftentimes when you start to build those things back in, people find that they need every bit of the income they had pre-retirement into retirement.
What if right now for the average uninitiated investor, let's put this person in their 30s as I look over at my colleague on my left. How is it ever too late to start an investment plan if you are looking at retirement? And let's say you want to retire early. Let's say you want to retire when you're 60. How old should you be when you start your investment plan?
Well, it's so hard to answer that because there's so many different questions, and the answer is always as early as possible. Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you want to retire at 60 and you're 45 and you haven't started, well, starting today is still better than starting tomorrow.
Right.
But the exact when really depends upon, how much income you need in retirement, how much Social Security you'll get. Do you have a pension? There's some people who are very fortunate. A lot of retired government employees, for example, who are going to retire with a pension that's equal to 70 to 80% of their pre-retirement income. Mm-hmm. For them, they could pretty much spend every dime throughout their lifetime and get away with it because the pension is so robust. But for most of us, the earlier, the better. And you can't cry over spilled milk. So if you feel like you're behind the curve, then the message I would send to your listeners is, hey, you can never look backward. You can only look forward. If you feel like you're behind the curve, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Start as soon as you can with however much you can.
And if you, I think a sound retirement strategy would be get yourself elected to Congress so that you could get paid in perpetuity.
Yes, that's challenging, and I guess if you want all your dirty laundry aired all around the country, sure, go ahead, go for it.
You just have to be willing to submit to the anal exam. That's the only thing. All right, so tell everybody how they can get more information on sound income strategies.
Well, the best thing is just to go to our website. Our website is actually that. It's soundincomestrategies.com. They can read about us. They can contact us right there on the website.
Cool. David Scranton, again, the CEO and founder of Sound Income Strategies. Thank you for enlightening us this morning, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. I'm telling you, retirement sneaks up on your ass like a ninja.
Yeah.
Like an a-hole ninja. Like a ninja that's not, he's not
from
gonna,
the dojo of a-hole.
He's not going to kill you because that'd be too easy. The a-hole ninja of retirement sneaks up on you and just like punches you really hard in the back so it hurts. So you're aware of him being there.
Yeah.
But it continues to hurt and it just keeps hitting you just enough so it just keeps hurting. Doesn't kill you because again, that'd be too easy.
That'd be too easy.
That'd be too fast. He just wants to maim you and make you miserable.
Yeah.
It sneaks up on you exactly like that. And it's if you're depending on government on any government program, Social Security or any of that to help you, God help you, because it's going to be tough. I'm still hoping for every day I drive by the Mega Millions billboard. Do you tell me
you think why not me?
Tell me you don't drive by there and go.
No, actually, one of the things I think I'm more likely to be struck by lightning than win that. And so I never think that I'm ever going to win it. I might buy a ticket maybe 3 more times in my entire life just for the funsies. I do not ever think that I will win it, however.
You can't win if you don't enter.
But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right, see?
No, I understand that.
Now you're catching on.
I understand that, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't get into that. I really don't. Like, scratch-off tickets from time to time are fun, but I'm not a huge gambler at all, which is actually weird because I love playing craps. I love Vegas, but So
you are a huge gambler.
Well,
if given the opportunity,
a huge gambler. I think I'm a situational gambler.
If given the opportunity, you're a big gambler.
I'm a
if
situational
not
gambler.
Given the opportunity, you're not a big gambler.
Okay, but my head hurts.
I'm just
Brad
trying to clarify.
Think. No, there's some. I like having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, a lotto ticket is like all just anxiety. That's all it is. And like seriously, it's like, did I win? I'm just sitting here not really doing it. But even scratch-off tickets. Scratch-off tickets can be fun, but even then, like seriously, I hate the feeling of a scratch-off ticket that has nothing. I hate it. I hate the way it makes me feel because it's just like
empty.
I didn't even get
empty inside.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
Whereas, like if I'm in Vegas or something like that, and I'm at the craps table, a good time came along with that.
Didn't it though?
Yeah.
Especially if her name is Bambi and she was standing behind you the whole time. Just saying. By the way, April 15th. What are we? A week out from tax day was what? A week ago. A week ago yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had to write a check to the government, or if maybe you were dead, even maybe you got a little bit of a refund back.
Yeah.
Either way, it's nice to know that the government is spending your money wisely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would if they were wasting it. If they were wasting it, that would be irritating. But if they were spending it wisely, like say buying coffee mugs for $750 a piece at the Pentagon,
yeah, that
would be irritating, right?
A little bit.
I mean, that's what the Pentagon did. The Air Force has spent $326,785 on 391 mugs.
Well, thank God.
Now, I will say this, that the reason these mugs are so expensive is because they are, number one, they're made of metal.
Mm-hmm. So they can be used as weapons.
Right.
Okay.
And they plug into an aircraft so that they can reheat beverages while in flight.
I didn't know that was a thing that needed to happen.
Yes, absolutely. Their odd shape, though, does make them susceptible to shattering. That's why they had to buy 391 of them.
So wait, hang on. Wait.
Yeah.
They're metal.
Yes.
They have the capability of heating.
Yes.
And yet
they can shatter.
They shatter.
Yes.
None of that makes sense.
Right. Exactly.
Nothing about that makes sense.
Which is why
at all.
they're $750 a piece.
So we're spending $750
yes.
on a metal mug.
Yes.
That can take heat.
Yes.
And it shatters.
Right.
Quite literally.
Yes.
Brad, if I were to take my Patriot Mobile mug.
Yeah, but that was only like 15, well, free to us.
And throw it on the ground as hard as I possibly can multiple times, this thing would still be okay.
Yes.
You're going to tell me.
That's because it didn't cost $750. You have to spend $750 on a mug to be able to have the honor, the experiential, how do I put it? The thrill of throwing the mug on the ground or simply watching it shatter if you tap it against the wrong surface. You can't get this stuff isn't free.
See, this is why nobody trusts the government. Right? That's just like, you know what I'm going to buy? I'm going to buy a $1,500 toilet seat. Why? What does it do? Well, it stays warm even if it hasn't been used in a while.
They took $3 million of your money to study dance clubs.
Oh, good, because I needed that.
They gave a grant to the Pacific Institute for Research and Evaluation. Back in 2018, the group got $180,304 to study the high-risk behaviors of young adults who patronize clubs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me break that down for you. The high-risk behaviors of young adults who patronize clubs. Men go in, they see a hot babe, they will ply her with alcohol until she becomes pliable.
Okay.
And then they'll try to take her home and bang her.
And spread her like butter.
That's it.
Yeah.
So they could have paid me the $180,304 and I could have told them that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would have done it for $90,000.
It's only something that's been going on since before freaking. How far away has this? Ancient Romans are sitting there in their bathhouses or whatever, plying some girl with wine.
Yes.
So that she'll be more receptive of his.
Back then, though, they just had to do what you
his
told
marble
them.
statue.
Back then, they just had to. Girls back that you told them what to do, they did it. They knew their role. They shut their hole. Know your role and shut your hole. That is what they did in ancient Roman times.
Because he was there.
I have pictures to prove it.
He was there.
Well, they're more of, I would say, etchings on stone.
Seen Caligula.
Right. Actually, it was the only person who's been around longer was Jeffy. The project targets young working adults who frequent clubs that feature electronic music dance events, or EMDE for short, and engage in high-risk behaviors. These high-risk behaviors are excessive alcohol use, drug use, physical and or sexual aggression, and unsafe behaviors upon exiting from the club. So at least you know when you wrote that check or when they took that money out of your paycheck throughout the year that it was going to fund worthwhile projects and causes and organizations that deserved your hard-earned cash.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you'd hate to think they wasted it. I mean, wouldn't you feel horrible if you knew the government was taking your money and wasting it?
Yeah. Oh, I would feel the worst.
That would suck.
Oh, okay.
And obviously not the suck the high risk dance club.
People wonder why I want every cent that we have accounted for. This is one of those reasons.
Right.
Quite literally. What is the other things that we've actually flying monkey poop?
Yes.
That was one. I covered a whole bunch on my show one day. The Morse code. Flying monkey poop.
Yeah.
Shrimp running on a treadmill.
Which is fabulous if you get it like as a midnight snack. Shrimp on a treadmill.
It's a little beefier.
Oh, yeah, it is.
If you know what I'm saying.
It's chewier because their muscles have been developed.
What I think they should look into is maybe having the shrimp eat cocktail sauce beforehand.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
That way you don't even have to dip. It's right there.
So they're stuffed.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Cocktail sauce stuffed shrimp.
Yep. It's almost like an ocean gusher. I'm officially grossed out.
Oh, wow. If the government had, in fact, invested in something as smart as the gun box, you see, that's the thing, is the government never really invest in like smart investments. They never, they could go on Kickstarter and find a bazillion smart things to invest in, but they never do that. They always invest in stupid things. The gun box, a very smart thing. It's a way to keep your weapon secure, and yet you can get it at a second's notice. I mean, if I'm watching, I'm kind of transfixed by the video on the screen. If you go to thegunbox.com.
What's happening on it, Brad?
They're waving the RFID chips over there, opening the gun box with their fingerprint. There's a keypad option you can use. There's a number of ways that you're not limited to one way of getting access to your weapon when you need it. And yet, when you don't need it, your weapon is secure. Prying hands can't get to it. They've tried running over this thing with a car. That doesn't work. You can't get into this thing without knowing exactly the code or having the RFID, or having your fingerprint right there on top. And the app that lets you know if somebody has tampered with your gun box.
I like that aspect too. Because if anyone's trying to open my gun box, I want to know immediately.
Right.
And this is probably one of the greatest ways to store your gun I have ever seen.
And it is sexy looking. It is not just a big chunk, a big square.
It's a bit on the sexy side.
It really is.
It really is.
We need one here in the studio.
I agree.
We need one sitting right there on the back wall.
I 100% agree with that. Maybe Gunbox can do participate in Suspicious Package Friday.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do I want the gun box more, or do I want the sock thingy that puts on your socks for you more? Yeah,
That's a good question.
We started off the program today with the sock starter thingy. Where you just put your foot in and it put your sock on for you. I might be going with the gun box. I might sacrifice and put my socks on manually if I can get the gun box instead.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
You go to thegunbox.com, and not only will you see the different models. They've got the standard model, the 2.0. They've got the Echo, which is nice and compact. You can carry that with you, put it in your luggage. And the SK1 Tactical, which I don't know if they intended it for it to be this way, but it's almost disguised like a room air filter.
Really?
You don't look at it and go, hey, that's a gun safe right there. You don't look at any of them and think that's a gun safe.
Yeah.
What you think is, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, go to thegunbox.com and you can unlock $20 off and free shipping. I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's really awesome.
Thegunbox.com. All right, there, Handicap Jeff, you ready to wrap this bitch up? Let's do it.
What do you mean it's let's go?
You're happy to get out of here today, aren't you? That is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned that Game of Thrones brings families together and tears audiences apart. We learned that F them all. That's what you have to do. You just have to get to that point. Pat's on, too. We learned that Brandon Morse, the Brandon Morse, may soon have to go to a MeWe chat room timeout.
I'm making peace with MeWe right now.
You're getting a piece from MeWe, are you?
I'm getting a piece from MeWe. That's what it took.
And we learned that Doc Thompson was way ahead of his time, realizing that sandwiches really are a superfood that can bring us all together. It's all about the sandwiches.
Damn right.
Damn straight.
Damn right.
The Red States, the Brandon Morse. What did you learn today?
I learned that screw the man, I'm going to get wheelies anyway because wheelies are for everybody.
Yes, they are.
Also, I learned that you can't please everybody all the time, and all of those people are watching my show. That's actually a Mitch Hedberg joke. No, actually, in all honesty, I love you guys. I really do. I pick on you guys sometimes.
He doesn't love you.
I mostly love a few of you.
Daddy doesn't love you. Hey, kids, Daddy doesn't love you.
You disappointed me for the last time.
Yep. He's, Daddy's going to go live with another family.
I'm going to go get some cigarettes. I'll be right back.
That's the last thing you ever hear either. I'm going to the market for some cigarettes and beer. That's the last you ever know.
Doc pulled a skip, said what I learned today. Brandon finally joined MeWe. I've always been there. I've always been there. But the more you complain, the more I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I just let it simmer.
Right?
Kirk Slightly Venomous Jackal said, although the movements are different, Ron and Brandon both used them for relief. I don't know what you're talking about, but I kind of know what you're talking about, and that's good enough for me.
You know, a movement is a movement.
A movement is a movement. Richmond Joe said, what I learned today, Brad and Brennan are wrong. A stockpile of guns from TRA would not help the living beat the Night King unless TRA sells hollow point dragon glass ammo. Good point. Good point.
Shoot, he's right. I can't believe...
Napalm rounds?
Damn, he's right.
Napalm, because fire also. Well, no, because
Right.
they don't know. You know what?
How did I miss that?
Yeah.
Damn it. That means I'm not perfect at segues anymore. I'm going to have to do something to make up for it. Who said that, by the way?
It was Richmond Joe said that.
Wow.
And it's a very good point.
It is a very good point, and I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Well done. Kirk Slightly Venomous Jackhole said, Lusty Jillhole almost had a taste for Ron Phillips' Mississippi Leghound. I must have missed that, but it sounds amazing.
When Griffin came in here, he was staring at Lusty.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
just locked eyes on her and would not
move.
stop looking at her.
Well, you know, a lot of people do that. They come in here and they're like,
I feel that way right now.
They hear the music in their head go on.
I think it's her lips.
I think it's the eyes.
Lips
Look at
is
that.
lips.
She's got that nerdy librarian look going on, but also at the same time, she's kind of got that, hey, I'm the girl next door look, and also I'm here at a bachelorette party look.
She's got sideburns,
all
though.
at once. She does?
She does have sideburns.
Oh, she does have sideburns, yeah.
And like a quasi-beard.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Anyway, that's is that all they learned?
That is, more or less all they learned.
Jeff, you learn anything, or we really don't care anyway if you did, so just don't.
You're such an
Don't
ass.
try to come in here and start
You are
learning stuff.
Such an ass.
We'll get to those new numbers on procrastination when Doc Thompson returns from his Florida vacation. In the meantime, your Daily Mojo is today a Handicap Jeff production. That answers a lot of questions. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules. You got a shot at being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are!
Let's go to the MeWe chat room now.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.